Hello. Look who did her makeup today. Okay, but to be fair, it is because I just finished reacting to my Scream 6 predictions video. So that video is coming out maybe tomorrow. Maybe no, I don't know if I'll have time. Maybe tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, then definitely the next day. Or you know what? I could give it a later release. I try to get my videos out by noon, but I could just do like a 5 o'clock release. So let's say tomorrow. I'm excited for that. And also, I'm excited for today because if you couldn't tell, we're ranking all of the Ghostface killers. And I think this goes without saying, but obviously, this is going to be a very spoiler filled live stream. So you're not safe, not even for Scream 6 for this stream. So hopefully, everyone has taken that into consideration. Especially for this next bit because we have 13 ghost faces to rank. I would really technically say 12, but I'm going with 13. Just you'll see why. You'll see why. I'm not going with any of the TV show killers because just I don't feel like enough people have seen the TV show, and I don't want to alienate anybody today. But in the future, like maybe when Scream 7 comes out, maybe I'll redo that video ranking all the Ghostface killers. So yeah, that's what's going on today. I feel like most people here will probably have 12 people in their list. It just really depends on whether or not you're going to include Jason from Scream 6. I decided to because I felt like there were going to be a lot of people that expected me to because he technically is one of the Ghostface killers. So I honestly like I kind of just threw him. I kind of just threw him on the bottom of the list because I was like, he's not really like you know what I mean. So I don't know. I'll go through the chat. I'll see how you guys feel. But let's see who's here. Oh, let's see. Oh, I hope Michael Myers can make it. That'd be really nice. Yeah, I'm excited as well. You think Stu will be my number one? You'll see. You'll have to wait and see. Hi, Noel. Good to have you. Oh, got a dentist appointment. Okay, no worries. I'm glad you're taking care of your teeth. Oh, hello. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm glad to have you, Cash. Today's a good day. You know, woke up, been productive, shot 2 videos actually. I shot one for Patreon as well. So I'm really excited to get into it today. Yeah, excited for this one. Are you ranking all the killers individually or as duos and trios? I individually because I feel like some pairings there's one really strong killer and one really lame one. So that's happened in a couple of the movies. So yeah, they're all individual. Because if I was just doing like all the pairings of killers, that also would make for like a very short live stream. And I don't know, we'll be talking about like each individual kind of reveal too, because they're not always revealed together. Yes, individually, indeed. Oh, hello, Anthony made it. Have I started Pet Cemetery? Yes, I have. I've only been reading it for the past couple nights. But I'm already a little decent ways into it there. I'm really enjoying it. I've really been enjoying Pet Cemetery. So yes, get cracking on it. We can read it together. Oh, and Rock Fan made it. Good to have you. Yeah, I'm glad that you made it too. Hello, Tobias. I'm glad to have you here. Hello. Oh, good. Glad to have you here. Oh, and Desi made it. I'm very curious for all your rankings. Hello. Oh, you flatter me. Oh, Tiago. Yes. Mother's Jill and Amber, of course. Hello, Emo Angel. I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm having a pretty good day. The sun is out, which was a surprise. So I was just soaking it in for a little bit. Hello, John. I hope all is good. I think we all know the pair going on first. It depends. I think honestly, like looking at my list, I think that I have a pretty controversial ranking. I think I do. I don't know. I feel like some of you guys could probably guess who at least like my top 2 are. I don't think that you guys will really see my list coming. Well, you'll probably know who's on the bottom as well. But all the in between, I don't know. I think it's kind of controversial. So we'll see. I have a feeling I know who's going to be on the top of a lot of your lists, though. But we'll see. Loving the look today. Thank you. I know I actually put in some effort today for a live stream. Who would have thunk it? Let's see. Oh, hello. Good to have you. Are we all doing rankings? If you want, a lot of people do they put their own ranking in the chat and it's fun to share, but no pressure. Channeling my inner Wednesday. I did think about that when I did the braids. I did think about that. Hello, Jerry. Good to have you. Ready to piss off people with my list? Okay, for sure. Oh, first live. Welcome. Glad to have you. Oh, spoiling your number one already. Here we go. Okay, and Christopher made it. And Geek Muscle, hello. Oh, I hope everyone's having a good start to the week. I know, Monday. New week. Fresh start. Good stuff. Oh, first time. We have a couple first timers today. Fun. Okay, Stu is your favorite as well. Yeah, I was talking about Jill and Charlie. In terms of like one good Ghostface and one kind of lame one. Yes, there's an example. You have your ranking ready for anything Scream related. Good for you. I also, it'd be really fun. Like maybe when Scream 7 comes out, it'd be fun to do a ranking all together of our, like all the openings of the Scream movies. That's something I also want to do. Hello, hello. Let's see. Oh, hey, George, you made it. Wanted to finish an assignment for school. I've been busy at work. Good. Prioritize that education. Okay, I think I've said hello to everybody. Oh, we got a tip. Thank you so much. Working, but hey, liver alone, liver alone. The tongue moment. Oh my gosh. Oh, it looks like Scream 7 is a go. I haven't seen any news on it yet, but like based on the director's interviews and stuff, they're like, yeah, I mean, it's basically a given. The writers like to sequester themselves anyways. We're not really involved with the writing process in the early stages. So, you know, but it's weird that they're not in on it yet. Surely they must be now. Because Scream 6 honestly might go on to make the most money of the entire franchise. I don't know yet because also last weekend or this past weekend, John Wick came out and that's obviously dethroned everything. But we'll see. Scream 6 is doing very, very well, which you love to see. Okay. Oh, hello from Brazil. Glad to have you. Um, oh, and Killer Looks made it. Oh, how do I feel about Pet Sematary in comparison? Oh, to it in terms of the book. Well, I have just started the book, and so far I'm really enjoying the book a lot. I feel like Lewis is a much more sympathetic character so far. He's not as stupid. But that remains to be seen. You know, I'm not very far into the book, so we'll see, but I'm really enjoying it so far. Let's see. Oh, glad you could catch one too. What's an appropriate name for actors who play creatures and monsters like you've done? It's literally just you call it creature acting. That's what I say. Okay, so you have 12 on your list, but some go with 14 because of Jason's partner, Greg. Greg didn't do anything. I think I got a comment that was like, Jason and Greg better be on your list. And I'm like, Greg's not around. He's cut up in the fridge. He doesn't do anything. Like, I'm not including Greg. I feel like I'm pushing it with 13, including Jason. But here we are. Okay. Your Charlie placement might surprise people. Is he high up there? All right. Stu got the dog in him. He does, actually. I would concur. Oh, I love the necklace. Thank you. Oh, my best friend Leanne, who lives in the UK, got it for me. She's my Scottish girlfriend. She has the other half of it, actually, which is very cute. Okay, you don't have a ranking, but there are 3 Ghostface killers that stand above the rest for me. I couldn't even take a guess because also I feel like a lot of people are really divided on a few of the Ghostface killers. Like one, for example, I feel like is Mrs. Loomis, where a lot of people think that she's really badass and, you know, they love Laurie Metcalf and they think she's a great killer. And then a lot of people think that her performance is corny, which I wasn't even aware of because that thought has never crossed my mind. And then I feel like some people feel the same way about like Amber. People are pretty torn on the Scream 5 killers. Not so much with Richie, but, you know, so it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Oh, your first live. Very cool. I just wanted to say thank you for so much. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Without you guys, I couldn't do it. Love listening along in the car on my breaks. I'm glad to have you here. Oh, you don't think that they're going to do 7? Really? That would surprise me. That would really surprise me because they're such Scream fans themselves that like I think they would really want to be involved. I can't see them being willing to miss out on it. Although I do know they're doing Escape from New York, so that's really exciting for them too. Maybe it just means Scream 7 will be pushed off a few years, which I would be fine with personally. I don't need them to rush into it. So, all right. I think that we should probably get cracking on our number 13s. Also, I'm a little okay. It depends if you included Jason or not. So I am going to share my 13 and 12 at the same time because I almost my number 12, I hate him so much as a killer that I think that Jason could honestly go above him. And it's not in like the reveal, but it's just the fact that he does nothing for the entire movie until the reveal. That I feel like he's such a flop. But Jason, I threw at number 13 just because he's not really a Ghostface killer. And then Ethan is at number 12. But I'm conflicted on this. I really am because I don't know, Ethan, like, how many times I feel like I'm losing my mind. How many times can I say that he was just there? Like Ethan didn't do anything. I found this article that had like because I know that there's a YouTuber named Zach Cherry who has done like which Ghostface killer killed who, like what's their individual body counts, if you will. But I haven't seen those, so I did find this Collider article, and they basically listed like the amount of kills that each of them had. And for Ethan, like it's undetermined, which is something that I don't really love about Scream 6. It's undetermined like how many kills each of them had. But they were able to say that like Detective Bailey has at least 3 kills, Quinn has at least 1 kill, but like 4 of the other kills are unaccounted for. Ethan has 0 confirmed kills. So like he could have killed 0 people. Like on the article it says 0 to 5 because there's like 5 potentials or something. I don't love it. I just don't. And he's so lame. And also he has the alibi that one time of like, being in school or whatever. I don't feel like he did anything. I feel like Quinn did most of the work or Detective Bailey. He's just there. He's so just there. And so I'm contemplating putting Jason above him because like Jason was a decent, for his limited time, he was all right. He was a decent Ghostface. I also really like what they did with him in terms of like his dialogue and the commentary he gave on being a killer, what it felt like to kill somebody. It was interesting. Like that we got so much more from Jason in those like 10 minutes than we did with Ethan the entire movie. Besides, I've always wanted to stick something in you, Tara, which we hate that. We hate that. So I don't know. What do you think? They're kind of tied at the bottom just because I don't really know exactly how to quantify Jason and his contribution. Let me know. But I'm excited to see who you guys have at the bottom of the barrel. Let's see. Okay. You think Richie is a better Ghostface after Scream 6? That's kind of fair. I have like in hindsight, I have like looked back at Scream 5 with a little bit more love because I originally didn't really like the killer reveal of Scream 5. I thought it was the weakest thing about the movie. Now I feel completely differently about that. And I think it is largely due to Scream 6 and me really finding the killer's motives to be super weak. Okay. So somebody else has Ethan at the very bottom. I feel like the writers trolled us by making him as useless as possible in the first half of the film. That's how I feel. You stand being a part of a cult gathering as I'm at work. Yeah, I do too. Okay, 13 would be Jason. I think that he's inconsequential to the film. Yeah, that's a fair argument as well. Like he doesn't have any connection to the other killers at all either. Like, okay, he wanted to continue Richie and Amber's movie. Like it was a continuation of their motive, but that's like really the only way they're connected. And he like had a class with some of the core 4. That's it. Like he's not involved. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there is an Escape from New York movie on its way. So, but I don't want to like get anybody's hopes up. I was thinking about reporting on this in my next monthly news recap because they still have not, or maybe by this point they have, I don't know, but things don't generally happen this quickly. But basically like they're in talks, they're in pre-production, but they still have yet to talk to John Carpenter about producing. They have yet to talk to Kurt Russell about returning. So I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but yeah, it seems like it's basically confirmed to be happening. So he probably was named after Jason Voorhees because also he has Jason Takes Manhattan playing in his apartment. So yeah. Number 12, we got Ethan Landry Bailey, very mid-killer TBH. Is he gonna be on the bottom of all of our lists? Okay. Yes, John Wick, he is like a slasher. I had never watched the John Wick movies before, and I love them now. I love them. Yes, Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. Okay, at 13, we have Jason. Okay, he's fine, but not on screen enough to make it higher. That's fair. That's fair. Okay. Oh, number 12, we have Amber. I did not expect that. I did not expect that. Interesting. Okay. Oh, cool. I'm glad that you made it first time on a stream. I love these. You make great content. Thank you. I appreciate that, Christina. Thank you. Yes, Ethan is a boy from 6. I hate him too. Who's Jason, though? Jason is the first Ghostface killer in the opening of the movie. He is like the second opening kill. Basically, he kills Samara Weaving, and then he gets killed in his apartment. Number 13, Jason, and 12, Quinn. Okay, interesting. You Quinn lower than Ethan? I am curious to know why. Ethan at number 13, but Jason at number 12, because at least we got something new from Jason. This is true. I think I am leaning towards having Ethan at number 13. You say, of course. I think I am leaning towards this being my truth. I think I am. Like because we got more from Jason just in those 10 minutes. Like, I don't know. Okay, so you're not including Jason and Greg. Jason telling how it was to kill Samara was lame. So I have 12 killers. Okay, for sure. Live your truth. Number 13 is Ethan. I didn't like him. He was useless. Wasn't shocking because I saw you saw Ethan was one of the one who was leaked. Oh, I feel like that hardly matters because he was so inconsequential anyways. Number 13, Jason, because he's an almost, and he does a great job with the opening, but he is the opening. My 12 is also Ethan, ranked so low because he was a pervy creep. His line to Tara was gross. I know, I can't believe I repeated it earlier. Sorry, I never will again. Number 12, Ethan. L for Ethan. I'm glad we all hate Ethan. A collab with me and Zach Cherry be dope. I just have never connected with him. Like, I've never seen his content, but someone told me recently that he was the guy that does like the Who Kills Who for the Scream franchise. So yeah, it'd be cool to connect with him. Number 12, Quinn, lame fake death thing that they're better than at this point. Are they? It was like a new thing. She was the only killer in Scream 6 that I didn't see coming, to be very fair. Because I'd never done that before. Let's see. He gets like 4 awkward moments in the subway scene and then gets unveiled as a killer. It is quite odd. It's their side characters they're flops. Okay, 13 would have to be Jason because I had no idea who you were even talking about. I had to look it up. That's fair. Number 12, Stu. Oh my gosh, he's my least favorite. And one reason that I don't like Stu is way too corny. See, I feel the opposite. I feel like he really sells it with how neurotic he is. I thought the fake out was cool. I like that he was unmasked. I wish that had kept going throughout the film, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? The awkward moment. Yeah, Ethan gives Sam some napkins and scurries off. That is kind of funny. Let's see. 13, we have Ethan. Yeah, he's blah. What is there to say? 12 is Jason. Could have been cool with more time. Definitely an exciting reveal. Yeah. Thank you for the tip. Angelina. Who's Angelina? Is that somebody that I should know? Is she a side character? Because I don't know a killer named Angelina. Okay, number 13, also Ethan. Nothing characters can become great. Ghostface's Amber is a prime example. This is true, but performance plays a huge factor, and I don't believe him as a killer or even as an incel. Total miscast. I know. I feel like him and Detective Bailey were really miscast because Ethan does not he's too handsome to be. I'm sorry. We can lie to ourselves all we want and say that doesn't matter, but I think he is too handsome to have been that big of a loser because you know what? Like, attractive people are just liked more by society, and unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. I also agree that he was a complete miscast. But maybe that was a way that they were trying to throw us off the scent. I don't know, because I don't feel like his performance was bad. I just felt like he was given nothing. Like, he was given nothing to do. He's also your least favorite Ghostface. Love it when he died. And Sam said to Quinn, looks like you're down another brother. I love that line too. Oh God, I fell in love with Sam. I really did. Definitely Ethan, also Jason. Jason conceptually is more interesting than Ethan, so I gave him the bump, and his reveal was impactful. Yes. So many Ethan simps online. Ugh, I shudder to think. Okay, Ethan 13, Jason 12. Yeah, we're kind of all in agreement here. I hope you guys aren't just blowing smoke up my ass. Oh, here we go. We got Charlie at number 12. His motive is garbage about getting the girl. Yeah, Jill overshadows Charlie, making him think he's a part of the plan and becomes a victim in the process. Yeah, Charlie's a little dumbass. Oh, my Chucky Jordy made it. Good stuff. Number 12. Oh, Nancy Loomis. Oh, contrarian. I would like to know why. Yeah, I feel like he was kind of wasted as Ghostface. He could have been like a really decent, really likable side character. They needed to have more side characters because there were so many legacy characters back. Give us such a small pool of people to choose from for Ghostface. He should have just been like a new, cool, likable character that got killed off. You know, that's how I feel. Yeah, Ethan, because it's like, sis, get out of here. He's so stupid. The line with Tara makes me hate him even more. I can't. Yeah, fair. I mean, I guess in all fairness, that means he did his job, right? Okay. 12. Oh, Roman Bridger. Oh, we got the whole ranking. No, it's too soon. It's too soon, but Roman's your least favorite. Okay. 12 is Ethan, because I think that he's only really there because of Bailey and Quinn. I kind of felt like he was a sheep. Absolutely. Absolutely he was. Why do people hate Amber? I don't know. I don't know. She's a little higher up on my list. Oh, it's my dad. I'm playing in a charity golf tournament in SoCal. I hope it's a great live stream. He is. My dad texted me this morning and was like, I'm going to be the worst player out here. And I was like, well, that's great. That means there's no stakes. You can just have fun. Okay, thank you for the tip. Yeah, who put Amber last? I don't know. She's not like, spoilers, she's not one of my favorites of all time, but like I feel like Amber deserves some credit for sure. So I would love to know the reason. Everyone's list is valid. But yeah, give us the reason. Let us know why. Number 12, Jason. Killing him off so early was a bummer. I know, I agree. I initially thought they were trying something new. Same. Let's see. Ba-ba-do. Any more for Richie at the bottom, just awful. Sure. Stu is the GOAT. Yeah, he is. You know what? Yeah, I won't accept any Stu slander here. Jason over Ethan. He was a bit more than you hoped he was a bit more than an opening gimmick. Yeah, me too. Trying to start a riot. I know, I'm saying, how is he rated so low? Yeah. Let's see. Okay. And Detective Bailey at number 12. Fair enough. I feel like there's a select handful of Ghostface killers that like I understand kind of shuffling around at the bottom. Angelina was only a killer in the unused script for part 3. Why would we include Angelina then? Why would we do that? Okay. Oh, right. Oh, she was supposed to be Roman's partner. No, she's a lame character. I didn't like her anyways. Even if she secretly like was a killer and then he killed her, whatever. I didn't like her as a character. Okay, 13 is a tie between Jason and his partner that's so unused. I don't even remember his name. Yeah, Greg, he didn't do anything. He just was chopped up in the fridge. So we don't even talk about Greg here, okay? Thank you so much for the tip. I hope everyone's doing good. Enjoyed Scream 6. Scream 1 and 4 are still my favorites. Good, me too. I agree. Jack Champion would never diverge. I agree with this. I do. Okay, so I think that we're all done with our number 13s and 12s. Okay, I'm going to move on to my number 11, which was already referenced as someone's number 12, Detective Bailey. Honestly, in all fairness, he might deserve to be a little bit higher than some of these other people. I don't know. I don't feel like he does just because he was so predictable. Like he did such a bad job. And it makes me annoyed that like, you know, the other characters weren't suspicious enough of him. I don't understand that, especially in today's day and age, Gen Z. I don't think that we really trust cops in general. So it's like, I don't know. He was so over the top. He was so over the top. He was not sly. I don't like anything about Detective Bailey, least of which, well, okay. I can't say that I dislike his motive because it makes sense. Like it's a good motive, obviously just good old-fashioned revenge. I don't like that it's copying Scream 2. And I really just don't like his performance. I think he's such a cornball in this role. And I still feel bad saying that because I really like him as an actor. And I don't understand why he's so like, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of his catalog to know if he plays things over the top in general, if he's ever done anything horror related before or anything horror adjacent, like a dark drama or anything where he's playing a character like this. So if it was his first time playing a character that was meant to be this unhinged and being a killer, then I guess I would give him some slack. I guess, but I don't know. He's a seasoned actor. And even when he's on a show like New Girl, which I talked about in my review, I feel like he's really good with subtle acting. There's because a lot of the actors on that show and a lot of the writing is really over the top. It's very goofy, but it's probably my favorite comedy show of all time. Like I adore New Girl, so good. But a lot of it is really over the top, and he brought a lot of subtlety, and he had a really grounded performance in that show. So I'm like, why now here of all places when like we need you to be serious? Like I need you to be so serious. Like for if you want me to buy this, just such weird choices. I even featured the interviews with Jasmine Savoy Brown and Mason Gooding where they're like, who's most likely to make you break character? And without hesitation, they're both like Dermot, because he would just make choices and be like, and you'd be like, whoa, because he wouldn't do it on purpose, but he just was a goon. So yeah, it has to go to Detective Bailey. I almost thought about putting him at the bottom as well. Maybe even like putting Jason above Detective Bailey, but I was like, no. I think that's going a little bit too far. But anyway, yeah, Amber's the Ghostface for the gays. We love her. She's so high on my list. She deserves so much credit. Okay. Oh, also Bailey at number 11 because he's a worse version of Nancy Loomis. Yes, I don't like seeing that guy from Shameless killing people. Oh, he's in Shameless. I didn't know that. Let's see, Amber's annoying in a great way. I agree. Let's see. Amber is one that's quite enjoyable to watch. Her on-screen demeanor is all calm until I am not a killer, and then the I know. What a moment. Like, you got to give her credit for that moment at least. Okay, 11, we have Ethan. He's boring. Him helping Mindy on the subway is a huge plot hole. I don't know if, like, do you guys consider that a plot hole? I don't know if I do because, like, I feel like at that moment in time, he still needed to be, like, in with the group. Although, it is kind of a plot hole, isn't it? Well, no, because he didn't have his Ghostface costume on, like, when he was with the group. He wouldn't have had an opportunity to put it on. So, because Mindy was gonna survive, he had to, like, keep up the facade. You know what I mean? So, he didn't really have an opportunity to finish the job and whatever. I don't know, but the way that no, I wouldn't say that Quinn left her alive on purpose because they like stopped at the station, so she didn't have an opportunity to keep gutting her, even though I feel like those were probably death-worthy injuries that Mindy received. I don't really see that as a plot hole, personally. Excuse me, but if there's something I'm missing, like, let me know. Okay. 11 for me is Richie. He dated Amber, and I don't know if she was underage, but they were in a relationship, which was so weird. I think she was. So yes, extra ick points for Richie. Absolutely. Yes. Bailey sucked. I hated his character. Same. Greg did more than Ethan ever did. 11 is Quinn Bailey. Not a fan of her performance personally. It's a bad character though. I don't know. I liked her character, but we'll talk about her soon. Okay. Number 12 was Ethan. I feel like he was just there. He was apt observation. Yes. Okay, here we go. Oh, 11, we got Bailey. Yep. Other than Ethan, he's given nothing to work with until the unmasking, where I guess hammy acting is supposed to be scary, which has worked for other actors in the past. I just don't think the role was right for him, 11, we got Ethan. Jack Champion was in costume during some of the apartment kill, and Quinn was on the phone with her dad, so it couldn't have been Bailey. Right. Oh, okay. So he's credited with Annika's death then. Yes. Whoever wrote that Collider article, they missed that. Okay, 11, we have Quinn Bailey. Not a fan of her performance personally. Not a bad character, though. You're not too late. Honestly, I know I've been live for a half hour already, but we are only on number 11 out of 13. So maybe I should get a move on. Number 11 is Bailey. Number 11 is Jason, since he had the balls to unmask himself in public in New York City, and he was graphic on the phone with Bailey. This is true. Number 11 is also Detective Bailey. I swear I'm not copying you. I was just so underwhelmed in the Scream 6 killers. The only real shock slightly was Quinn. Yeah, completely agree. 11 Bailey, he stinks. Dermot is in the wrong movie. Yep. Yeah, I know. Predictable and miscasted. Actor was an autopilot. I agree. It's so weird. It's so like that's a problem that I've had with the last two Scream movies. These new directors, I don't think their casting is very strong. Except that they did have the foresight to cast Jenna Ortega. Jenna Jenna Ortega. Oh gosh, at least they did that right, right? Anyways, okay, 11 is Charlie. He was lame before the reveal and even worse after. So glad Jill killed him. I agree. I agree. Okay. 11, we got Quinn. I also feel like she did nothing. At least with Bailey, I can remember his reveal in the performance. I liked Quinn better before she was revealed, and usually it's the opposite. This is true. That's true. That's a good point. Okay, we got Jason, then Charlie, and then Bailey. Oh, you have Ethan higher than that. Oh my gosh. Okay, interesting. 11, we have Charlie Walker. I liked him as a character, but not as incel simp Ghostface. He was still like an incel before that. Like his pining after Kirby, but I love that in Scream 4, they frame him as the loser that he is. It's not like with Randy in the first two movies where he's like framed really sympathetically, but Charlie is actually framed as a loser. I love to see it. Okay, 11, yeah, Detective Bailey. Character-wise, he could have been what? But my goodness, Dermot Mulroney's acting was so hokey. Agree. I'm glad we all agree. Okay, number 12, Tiago has Richie. His motive is so stupid and he doesn't do anything. I love what Sam did to him, though. I hate that the ghost faces in Scream 5 didn't have the mask off moment. Oh, yeah, neither of them do. And that's like, oh my God, that's like one of the best parts of friggin' Scream 2 and Scream 4. Like, Jill's unmasking. Oh my God. Okay, all right, 11 got Detective Bailey. Detective Bailey, absolutely. Oh, Ethan, because he's the one he's the one you predicted and never went towards anyone else. His reveal is garbage. I don't buy his character. He doesn't have a good character arc at all. Nope. I mean, killers typically don't have arcs, do they? Also, Bailey, I think they should have made the character a bit more subtle and grounded. Yes, we all agree. Yeah, he has a good motive. It wasn't subtle like he should have been. I know. Bailey didn't buy any of it performance-wise. Leanna Liberato said he did a few versions of it, more serious, more goofy, more subtle. Dude, why would the... Okay. All right. So director's fault then. Yeah, it was so bad for me. It was too cartoonish. Like the one line that sits in my head is, no, he wasn't. Like he has a voice cracked. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember that. One of the lines that I remember is like, they're a little dark when he's talking about the Stab franchise. I'm just like, goofball, goofball, goofball. Okay. All right. I think that does it for another one for Detective Bailey. Yeah, oh yeah, no, wait. Did I already read your comment? You must have left one earlier. I feel like I did. Okay, you don't see that as a plot hole either, because if she lived and he expected to get away with it, he had to help her. Yeah, it's true. Because like all the Ghostface killers think they're gonna live. They all die. Which at this point it's ridiculous that they keep trying. But yeah, so they got to keep up the facade. Hello, welcome. Oh, you meant to say she's not a bad character. Gotcha. Okay. You got to give Ethan credit for the ladder scene. I guess that's true because I didn't realize that was him before. But now looking back, Quinn was definitely on the phone with her dad. So yeah, I guess Ethan did do something. But it is also like, I hate to say it, but also I get taken out a little bit because I feel like it is just slightly goofy, like the whole shaking the ladder and just before she, tumbles off. It's very sad. It's a very serious moment, but it's a little, I find it a little bit goofy, but he's a pretty brutal Ghostface in that moment, cutting up Annika. All right, he deserves a little credit. Okay. 11 for me is Quinn. Just didn't like her very much. That's fine. Okay. All right, let's move on to our number 10s, shall we? Shall we do it? Okay, my number 10 is Charlie. My number 10 is Charlie. I don't think this is really shocking to anybody. He's just a real loser, isn't he? But like he has 3 confirmed kills or something. He was doing a lot of the dirty work for Jill, and I have to give him credit there because yes, he is very stupid. He didn't realize that he was being played by Jill the entire time. But if you think about it, like there's a lot of scenes, well, at least two I can think of off the top of my head where he's calling and Jill is literally in the room. Like, talk about her being a mastermind, but also the fact that he was having to do a lot of the killing earlier on in the movie. So he was kind of, you know, he picked up the brunt of the load at first to like get the ball rolling and all of that. So I give him credit for that. But for really like nothing else. I don't know. But you know, I also like that he is one of the horror nerd characters turned killer. That's always kind of fun. So I don't know. Charlie, there's a lot to not like about him for sure. But I think, but I put him a notch above the others just because, like, there are those little things that to him that I'm like, you know what? He's not the worst. He's not the worst. So, not that that's a high praise, but anyways, number 10, we have Quinn. I liked her friend demeanor, but when she was unmasked, she didn't do much other than get hit by a brick and shot in the head. Fair enough. Oh, your computer was acting up. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I know. 5 and 6's killers and characters in general are just underdeveloped. I barely know anything about any new character in Scream 6. Exactly. It's a very big problem. It's a very big problem. That's why like Jill's reveal was so impactful and is one of the best reveals of the franchise, because you literally thought she was going to be the new final girl. Like they built her up so much. Whatever, man. Whatever. Okay. All right, let's go. Number 10. Okay. Oh, here we go. Number 11. Quinn. I was so annoyed when she got revealed because it was a cheap card having her killed before, but I gave her points because of Gail's home invasion scene, which realistically, like I don't know. I've commented back and forth with someone about this, and we were just in agreement about the fact that like little Quinn throwing around Gail's beefcake of a boyfriend is hilarious and just like is really reaching a bit. She literally threw him through an entire fixture in their apartment. But we'll just do our best to suspend our disbelief on that one. Yeah. But she does get a little bit of credit there. Number 10, we have Amber. I know she's loved, but I don't get it. She's miles better than Richie, though. Fair enough. Number 10, also Quinn. I ranked her above Pops because of the surprise, but still not much to say about the Bailey clan. Indeed. Charlie, he was meh and boring, but brutal for Olivia's death. So glad he got killed by her mother, Jill. Yeah, like he has his moments, even if they're not his to claim. You know, the fact that he was Jill's partner, too, I'm like, all right, you got a little bit of brains in that noggin of yours. So twinning on that one. Number 10, Bailey. I feel like the radio silence guys try too hard to make the killer seem crazy, and with him it just felt so forced and awkward. I know it's hard to know who to blame because like Amber, she pulls it off really well, and maybe she's just a better actor. I don't know. I'm sorry, I noticed my lipstick's getting a little faded. Mwah. Okay, that's better. Number 10, Roman Bridger, and number 9, Charlie Walker. Both are nerdy type loners in sort of a bland and generic fashion. I don't know. Roman is, I classify him differently than Charlie. I think there's a little bit more to him than that. I'll get there when I get there, you know? Detective Bailey, I know Scream 6 is the worst killers in my opinion, and we got 4 of them. Yes, I know. That's unbelievable when you think about it. Like the sheer number of Ghostface killers unmasked in Scream 6, 4, that's 2 more than any other movie in the entire franchise. And they're all the worst. Okay, let's see. Number 10, also Quinn. 10 is Roman for me. Also Charlie. I think while his motive is a bit lame and his character is pathetic, I will give him credit on the Olivia kill. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, the Olivia kill is good. I didn't say I was in your closet. Ooh. Number 10, Ethan. You like Charlie, maybe because I just like the Culkin brothers. No, I mean, like his performance is great. Like also credit there. I guess we should talk about performances too. Yeah. So I mean, if he's someone that like you love to hate, I get that. Charlie, I think that he is the whiny sidekick to Robbie. His nice guy act is ew. I agree because he's literally, you know, him and Randy both. They're both the type of guys to be like, ugh, nice guys always finish last. Like, why don't women like nice men? It's like, it's because you're not actually nice. I don't know why you think you are. Anyways, okay. Yeah, also him saying that it's too late for Kirby to date him made me want to punch him. Jill simp, but who isn't? Yeah. God, I know. It's like, oh, the entitlement. Okay, number 10 is Richie. He was so predictable. I did not predict Richie. I wasn't thinking that they were gonna like have the boyfriend be the killer again. So they successfully threw me off there. Number 10, Jason. Granted, he gets killed the first 10 minutes, but I value quality over quantity. Found him as a Ghostface to be so believable, even more believable. The actual 3 we did get. We missed out. Yeah. He would, yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay, 10. Also, Charlie, after Jill was revealed, he became a background thought. This is true. This is true. Which makes sense when you realize Jill had been plotting against him the entire time. Number 10, Roman. Number 10, Ethan. He was so boring, but I kind of liked him after the reveal. He got, like, I don't think that his performance was bad. I think Jack Champion also, like, he's also in Avatar, The Way of Water. Like, he's in the biggest franchise in the entire world. Like, he's a talented kid, but he just was not given anything to do, you know? 13, we got Jason and Greg. 12, we got Detective Bailey. 11, Richie. And 10, Charlie. Same number 10. Making a list as we go. That is fair enough. Number 10, Roman. I just didn't care about this retconning. Scream 3's biggest mistake is not having Kincaid find out Sydney had a sibling mid-movie. Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, because he and Gail were both on the case, both quite competent detectives. So yeah, bummer on that one. Number 10 is also Charlie. He did do most of the kills. I just hated his personality. He reminds me of all the toxic, nerdy guys who had major pick-me energy. Yes, exactly. See, I'm glad you guys get it. I'm glad you do, because I've had, like, people are hurt that I talk that way about, like, Randy too. And I'm like, you know what? Get with the times. I don't know what to tell you. Number 10 for me is Bailey, and he's the one I prefer in Scream 6. It is hokey, but he just does more than Ethan and Quinn, and he's clearly the mastermind of everything. Clearly. Bailey, I've only seen Scream 6 once, so this could shift. As bad as his performance was, I remember it, so I had to put him above his kids. He has this deep, dark voice. It could have been so sinister. That's true. That's fair. Detective Bailey is nothing if not memorable, so I will give you that. Number 10 is Quinn, decent psychotic after the reveal, but ultimately just following her dad's plans. Yeah, similar to Amber. No, I feel like Amber is more the mastermind than Richie. Amber had more of the kills, and I don't know. She comes off smarter than Richie to me. I don't know. Number 10, Ethan. I gave him the ladder kill, and that's it. I think he's very cute, though. Off topic. I wish they would have done more with him after Bailey. So the first son thing would have been great. Oh, yeah, I know, because it seems like there should have been a little bit of competition, a little bit of jealousy there. Like, I wish they developed the relationship between Ethan and Bailey a little bit more. Because you're right, Bailey does have that line where he's like, you know, there's something so, what does he say? Like, there's something so special about the bond that a father has with his first son or something. And Ethan is just like right there. And he doesn't say anything. He's just, you know, just has his knife. And I guess he's just like, yeah, true. But I don't know. They're all unhinged. I feel like he should have been more angry about that. Okay, number 10 is Quinn. She got killed so easily and got bodied the whole time. And how could she take down Gail's boyfriend, because we know that's her? I couldn't tell you. Number 10 is Roman. 9 is Charlie, because it seemed like Roman's only plan was to get Sydney and to kill her. Charlie and Jill at least were aiming for fame. This is true. This is very true. Even like Roman was willing to you know, kill off his entire production and essentially derail his career for revenge. Okay, Charlie was off-putting as soon as I saw him. Yeah. Number 10, 11, then Roman, and then Charlie. You like Charlie more and more as a Ghostface as time goes on. Him being a total loser is just fitting for a killer. I know, I agree with that. He has a great reveal too, where you see the knife at Kirby's stomach for a second first. Yes, yeah, I know. That's revealed before she's actually stabbed, which is typically not what you see. It's usually shot from like the other angle. But I like that because it gives you a moment to be like, no, Kirby, because we all loved her at that point. Yeah, so no, it's fitting. I'm not saying by any means that Charlie is like not a well-written killer and like not a good Ghostface, if that makes sense. But I just personally, I don't like his character. Like, he's, you know, and also he's next to Jill. So when you put anybody next to her, like, you know, that's tough. Okay. Okay, 13. Oh, we got Jason and putting the whole ranking, you're getting ahead of yourself, but your number 10 is also Charlie. Okay. All right. Is it time to move on to number 9? I think so. Okay. My number 9, since we've talked about her already, is Quinn Bailey. I put her above Charlie because I think a couple people have said this already. Before the reveal, before her death, I actually liked her as a character. I enjoyed like the sex positive thing. And so then like when they did that too, you thought that maybe she would make it out of this one, or she wouldn't be killed because, they would try to kind of subvert the trope of like the scandalous sex haver, getting killed because that's a typical thing. But then they followed along with the trope. So then like by that point, then I was absolutely not expecting her. So I feel like she's only up this high for me because I actually was surprised by her reveal. I don't know what I thought because I was pretty certain that Bailey and Ethan were the killers, and for whatever reason, I didn't really see a third killer coming. Or did I? I can't remember. Or I did, but I just didn't think it would be her. I don't know. That was a shock. That was surprising. So I thought that she really died. I didn't think because like with Detective Bailey and a Ghostface killer, sometimes I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, they'll kill their own family. Jill killed her mom. Like I could see him killing his daughter. So yeah, I didn't see that coming. So I don't know. I think her performance as Ghostface, like not super memorable because they didn't give her much to do. I do love the fact that she gets bricked in the face and loses a bunch of teeth and then spits them out like it's nothing and just keeps coming after Sam. Like I like that a lot. She is taken out really easily though, which I think is kind of lame. But had she not, I think that she had quite a bit of spunk. Yeah. Let's see. You think the worst villain is Charlie Walker? Jill Roberts was amazing though. She was terrifying. Her motive, she was crazy. So Charlie would be at your number 13. Number 10 for Olivia's kill. For sure, for sure. Yeah, no, the love interest is always a suspect. Glad Sam learned that in her second face-off with Ghostface. I know they're always a suspect, but how often have they been the killer? It's just been with Bailey and Richie, right? Number 9, Charlie. He's actually underrated in my opinion. His Olivia kill was insane, and the closet scene is top 5 scenes in the series for me. Probably me too. One of my favorite sequences. Oh, you made it. Good to have ya. Good to have ya. Number 10, Bailey. With the costume, he's the scariest Ghostface, and what he did to our gay Annika made me cry, so points for that. Sure. Sure. Okay, let's see. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Any more for number 9? Oh, yeah, no, I let the geek get the girl from Randy. I can't deal with it. I can't. Let's see. You used to ship him with Sydney though? Ugh. Oh God, never. Please. Okay, number 9. Oh, also Charlie. Killing wise alone, Charlie is at the top. Everything else, he's at the very bottom. I found it annoying, pathetic, gullible, and silly. The only Ghostface to become a victim himself. Yeah, you gotta dock him a lot of points for not realizing that he was being played the entire time. Like, what, dude? Why do you think that Jill always suggested for you to call her? Like, why do you think she was doing that? Like, always suggesting, "Hey, Charlie, like, when I'm with them, like, you should give one of us a call," And he didn't think about that for 2 seconds. Number 9, Quinn. Oh, samesies. She's my favorite in Scream 6 out of the new cast, except Annika. I liked her as a character. Her calling Jenna a whore isn't okay. I laughed so hard when she was decked with a brick. Yeah, yep, me too. Number 9, Charlie. I'll give him credit for doing the killings with Trevor as an exception, and bonus points for Olivia's brutal kill. Charlie as well. He's a sad incel. It's pathetic, but at least twisty. And he's committed, but so entitled, like you said, and I do appreciate a horror nerd turned killer, but he's no Mickey. Agreed. Number 9, Quinn. While not being in the movie a lot, the one scene that still sticks out to me when she's smiling with blood in her mouth, but the knife scratching was a nice untapped potential. I know she had more potential. She really did. But it's like when you have 3 ghost faces, you kind of gotta pick at least a couple of them off in quick succession so that there can be like the final actual showdown. Otherwise, it's just a lot going on, Number 9, Roman. He's a lame killer, but unfortunately his character is boring and also retcons the killer's motive in the first film. Or a lone killer. I saw lame. My eyes. Number 9, Richie. He's lame and made Amber do all the work. I love Jack Quaid, though. Yeah. Number 9, also Quinn. I'm pretty much the only new character in 6 that I liked, but she didn't get a lot of screen time post-reveal. Also, what was the reason to fake her death other than tricking the audience? I think to trick the characters, like to trick the core 4 especially, and like Gail and Kirby, and to get them into their little kill box shrine, So I think that was I think that was the purpose, because then it would throw them off the scent and get them to trust Detective Bailey, for one thing. So, like, they knew that she was his daughter. Quinn, this girl, underutilized in my eyes because she was great. She had the best character out of the three pre-reveal. Yeah, I mean, I agree. And had the best third act performance. That bloody smile was also immaculate. Yeah, that made me weak. Detective Bailey, he was so sus. How did they not know he was the killer? Because the shrine, he had access to all the stuff. I know, I'm saying. Your number 9 is Charlie. Number 9 is Richie. I just hated his motive, and he was super whiny Ghostface, super annoying character. But what about my ending? I know. Number 9 is Quinn. Okay. It would have been nice if Ethan died instead. I agree. I agree. Okay, number 9 is also Quinn. She's my favorite new character in Scream 6, except Annika or Queen. Liked her character pre-Ghostface. Her calling Sam and... oh, wait. I already read that. I guess some of you guys double do your comments. Okay, Charlie. I like the fact that he is a good killer, but him being a nerd who has been manipulated by Jill makes him an interesting character. Yeah. Number 9, oh, also Charlie. I like him, but he doesn't really do much after the mask comes off, despite getting the best kill with Olivia. I also forget him a lot when ranking killers. He used to be last. Thanks, Bailey's. Oh, man. Thanks, Bailey's. Okay, let's see, any more? Oh, yeah, okay, right here, yeah. Number 9 is Richie. Unlike Amber, I kind of pointed it out from the beginning. Amber threw me off guard. See, I didn't guess either of them, but I just felt like all the side characters were kind of lame. He was one of the only side characters that I actually liked, because he was the only one that had really any substance, besides, like, I mean, Mindy and Chad, really just comedic relief. So yeah, I didn't see either of them coming, but like Amber just wasn't around enough, I feel like, to suspect her. Kind of gave her like the Mickey treatment. Oh, you were shocked by Detective Bailey? Wow. The only Ghostface from Scream 6 I didn't see coming. What? Number 9 is Roman. I find pick me energy gross. I really didn't like Roman's whiny mommy loves you more than me energy. Yeah, he's writing a movie, so I'd say he's doing good without her. Why whine? That's fair. I don't, because like Sydney has nothing to do with it. Like, he's mad at his mom, so it takes out his mommy issues on Sydney. Like, for what? It's so silly. So silly. Go to therapy. Get out. Okay, number 9 is also Quinn. I enjoyed watching pre and post reveal Quinn. The bloody mouth smile was iconic for me, and she was the one in the subway. True, and she was the one attacking Gail. Just wild. Number 9, Billy Loomis. Oh, you're the first person to have him that low. Interesting. Would love to know why. Number 9 is Bailey because the acting is bad. And when he was running at Sam on the balcony, he didn't shoot Sam. Yeah. Wait, what? Yeah, he had a gun. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Detective Bailey has a basic revenge plot. He doesn't come to me as intimidating. Me either, you know? Let's see. Number 9, Mickey. What? He barely has screen time as a character, so you don't grow with him. He was hot, though. I'm glad you add that qualifier. Okay, let me move on. Am I on my number? I'm on my number 8. Okay, number 8 for me is Richie Kirsch. Richie, like, I really like him pre-reveal. He's just like this kind of, he's a bit bumbling. I don't know, but he just comes off as this pretty like genuine, nice guy. Like, nothing about him ever is selling as Ghostface, like the polar opposite to Detective Bailey, I feel like. He's also funny. I love Jack Quaid. I think that he was cast really, really well in Scream 5. So that's also part of it. I think his performance is really good. He pulls off everything that he needs to. Like, he's really good at pretending to be the loving boyfriend. He's really good at, being the unhinged fan. He delivers a lot of the monologue about toxic fandom and stuff. And I buy into it. It's not quite as good as Amber's monologue, but it's pretty good. And then also he pulls off, like someone just mentioned, the real whiny boy thing at the very end before Sam kills him. And I love his death. When Sam kills him, it's phenomenal. What a way to go out. So, there's just a lot. I love Jack Quaid. I don't know. What else can I say? I know that Richie's not necessarily one of the best killers because Amber did most of the work. Did I write down how many? So he only killed 2 people, right? And then Amber killed the 4 others. So not great numbers, not great numbers for a Ghostface, but I feel like it's because he did his job well. Like, he obviously is a little bit lame for not doing a lot of the dirty work, but in all other regards, talk about commitment. I don't know what other Ghostface spent 6 months fake falling in love with somebody and getting into a committed relationship, with the final girl besides Billy, because weren't they together before her mom died, like before all that happened? Weren't Billy and Sydney together for a long time? Someone will have to jog my memory on that, but either way, commitment. So I don't know. I like Richie. I know that's kind of a hot take or whatever, but Jack Quaid adds a lot to the movie to me, because I know you guys already know I find so many of the characters in Scream 5 to be so flat and boring. So Richie is, he kind of has that saving grace for him. He's one of the more entertaining parts of Scream 5, I think. Number 8, you have Quinn. She was decent. I put her over Charlie, but only because her reveal was surprising. I put her over Charlie as well. Yeah. Was the killer in the fridge? Really? Greg? Number 9, Mickey. Yeah, he also got betrayed. This is true. Okay. Oh, number 7, Nancy Loomis. Oh, okay. Oh, you already did your number 8, right? Okay. She's a great reveal, but she only had 1 kill. But the final scene with Sydney was really well acted. Yeah, Miss Laurie Metcalf. Love it. Okay. Oh, yeah. A little love to Ethan and Quinn for the double knife wipe. Absolutely. What a moment. That's what we call cinema. Okay. I know, rest in peace, Annika. We love her. In fairness, the era where Randy says the geek line and all the rom-coms, unless you weren't traditionally handsome, you didn't get the girl. This is true. There's a lot about Scream 2 that's also making fun of rom-coms of the era. Like, Derek has the whole scene where he's singing in the cafeteria. And so, I get it. But also, I feel like in a lot of rom-coms, it's always the geeky girl that gets the hot guy. So, Randy doesn't really do anything to recognize that, Although in the 90s, was that the case? I don't know. Okay. Any more for, yes, number 8, we have Quinn. She has many flaws, very little screen time, killed only one person, but I liked her a lot better than Ethan and Detective Bailey, and I wish Quinn and Jason teamed up instead. Ooh. Yeah, that would have been interesting. What if she pulled a fast one on her family and turned on her own family? That would have been fun. Okay, my top 8 are now just ranked on performances, who I like to watch on screen more. Yeah, that's a big factor in my whole ranking, I would say. Number 8, Roman, a whiny, successful director who's jealous of Sydney's trauma, but kudos to him for ambition. Yes, it's a Scream 6 line. Number 8, Richie. I love Jack Quaid and the boys, but Richie is one of the least surprising, worst motivated Ghostfaces in the bunch. Not a bad performance. He's very unlikable as Richie. Yeah, I agree. Mrs. Loomis, I loved her after the reveal. Wish she was more in the movie before, though. I understand why she wasn't. Loved her crazy eyes. She can really make those eyes just pop out of her head, can't she? Number 8, we have Mickey. When the reveal happened, I was like, who are you again? Yeah, it's like I said, with Amber, she got the Mickey treatment, and I'm just referring to them not really showing them enough in the movie for you to really suspect them, But then in hindsight, when you go back, Mickey's weird. He's a weirdo. He was kind of out there from the get-go. Okay, number 8 is also Quinn. She faked her death. They just showed her body. So I knew something was off, but loved her. She was a bit annoying at the end, but I was shocked at her reveal. Yeah, number 8, also Mrs. Loomis. She's mother. That's it for me. I wish we got more from her besides that third act, but that throws off the twist. She's just a grieving mother on the run. Yeah. And also for me, that simple revenge plot worked really well in Scream 2. A bit tired in Scream 6, I think. But what are you going to do? Number 8, Roman. Pretty bland, nothing character and whiny boy post reveal, but I'll give him credit for going solo, and I just have a soft spot for Scream 3. Let's see. I don't remember who this is. Now I see red. I don't remember. Someone else will have to let us know. Number 8, Richie. Once that movie post came out for the film, the killer is on the poster. I guessed him right away. Aw, no. Oh no. Number 8 is also Richie. I think he'd be lower, but I think he comes across better in Scream 6. I love Jack, though, and his death was gory AF. Didn't do much and had all the exposition lines when he was unmasked. This is true. Number 8, Quinn. I liked her better than the rest of her family. She was psychotic in her first redhead Ghostface. What's up, redhead representation? Okay, number 9, Detective Bailey for sure. He was at the top of my suspect list next to Kirby. Really? You suspected Kirby? His motive was very simple, which was nice. I may be biased, but I just love Dermot Mulroney. Sure, sure. Number 8, Bailey's lines are comedic and creepy and fits the franchise perfectly. Some things in Scream 2 and 3 are just as corny, but he doesn't fit with the other performances in Scream 6 at all. That's the main problem. It's like he's not in the same movie as the other actors. Like you and like and that's a big problem. Like you all need to be on the same page. Like tonally, everyone needs to be on the same page, or else someone's gonna stick out like a sore thumb, you know? Okay, number 8 is for sure Richie too. He had a lot of shit to throw us off his trail. I enjoyed him. My dad totally called him out in the scene after the prologue, so whatever that says. Yeah, sure. Oh, his death is your favorite in the franchise? It would be a lot to rank all the deaths of the Scream franchise, but that's also something I might do leading up or like after Scream 7. You know, because I gotta save some stuff. I don't want to just be like the Scream channel and that's like all I do. You know what I mean? Even though I know that people will be here for it, but I have other interests, you know. Number 8 is Roman. I really dislike his character and he's boring and an over-the-top killer. I do like the whole idea of him being a solo killer, though. Number 8 is also Richie. Scream 6 actually made me like him more. Also Richie. It was perfect. He did great for the toxic fandom commentary, but I also find it icky that a weird thing with Amber Groomer. Yeah, no, he's definitely not meant to be liked. Number 8 is Bailey. Also, Richie, unhinged performance and his death alone shocked me the first time I watched it. Sam stabbed the shit out of him. Yeah, exactly. Number 8 is Amber because she's fun. She does quite a bit of the killing. She has a good reveal. She's a bit of a coward for being like, mercy, mercy, I'm sorry, don't kill me. She's fun, but meh overall. That whole moment, I just find to be funny. Because at the end of the day, like, if you're someone that's willing to take the life of other human beings, you're probably just going to be like a shitty little coward at the end of the day. Like, you know, so I kind of like that moment with Amber. It just shows her character and like self-preservation vibes. Give me a little bit of a Jill energy. Yeah. Okay. 8, Jill. Look at me getting ready to get kicked out of the the Coven cult. There's the over the top I enjoy and over the top I don't. And some of Emma Roberts' dialogue delivery makes me roll my eyes. Love the idea. See, she just works for me, honestly. Okay. Sydney wore the Ghostface costume in the first Scream, so she counts. Nah, she's not a Ghostface. She's a final girl. Sorry. Nice try. Oh, hey, twinsies. Richie Kirsch at number 8. Okay, I think I'll move on to my number 7. Oh, wait, no. Almost. Hold on. A couple more. Detective Bailey has really great kills. Repeat motive from Scream 2, but he did convince his kids to become serial killers. So that's a win for Ghostface. I suppose so. But like, did he, or were they all just radicalized by Richie's death? I don't know. Number 8, we have Mrs. Loomis. Oops. Oh, even though her motive is good, I hate that she uses the gun so much. Like, you're supposed to stab. There's a lot of guns in the Scream movies, just in general, though, you know? Okay, so my number 7, surprisingly, I don't know if he'll stay here forever. I kind of feel like I maybe would put Richie above him. But I don't know. I have Roman Bridger at my number 7. It's really just because like he is doing everything on his own unless you wear your tinfoil cap and you believe that Angelina was always one of the other killers. I don't think so, personally. But yeah, I just I like enjoy the whole mystery of Maureen Prescott as well. So that's kind of a part of it. I don't feel necessarily like he retconned anything about Scream 1 because during his whole monologue, he's like, yeah, you know, or Billy just needed a little guidance or he just needed a little push or something. And so with that, I'm like, okay, so maybe Roman was just the one all along who fed him the information about Maureen Prescott. And because he hated his mother so much because she abandoned him and everything, he was willing to kind of embellish and he told Billy, you know, Sydney's mom was a whore. Like she seduced your father. Like it wasn't his fault and whatever. And so he just really wanted to get back at Sydney for living the life that he didn't get to have. Kind of ridiculous, but also, I don't know. I enjoy it. I love Scream 3 so much. So that's part of it too. I'll like, and I feel like a lot of what he does is super clever, like blowing up the house, sending in a fax with the script, like being able to manipulate all these dumbass actors and stuff. Like it was clever. Like I think he's a really clever, fun Ghostface. I don't think there's any other movie where Ghostface is doing anything like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, blowing up a house, you got to give the man a little credit. and blowing up his entire career and everything. And I enjoy Roman. He's not a good character like pre-reveal. He's not the most memorable or anything, but I think that he's playing it off really well because I don't even feel like he's really acting that much pre-reveal. Like he's complaining about his career and everything, and he's whining for like the entire movie. You know what I mean? He also when he has the call with what's her name? Sarah Darling. And Ghostface like has the voice changer and stuff. He uses his own voice. So he's talking to her as Roman, and it's really him, like as the killer. So I don't know. He does a lot of little things that I really enjoy. I enjoy like the chase scenes, with Sydney on the set. Like there's a lot of cool stuff that he does. I'm sorry. But it's Roman. He's my number 7. Okay, number 8 for me is Roman, because while I hate the whole brother-sister link in 3, the kills were pretty creative and different for the Scream movies. That's what I was just saying. Number 7, we got Nancy Loomis. Are we counting Jason as a killer? You can if you want. I did, just because honestly, I think I've come to the conclusion that he deserves to be put above Ethan at the very least. But then also Ethan has the ladder kill, so I don't know. It's however you feel. Okay. Dooba-dooba-doo. Where are your number 7s? Oh, here, catching up. Okay. Number 12, Ethan. Nice. 11 is Quinn. 10 is Charlie. And 9 is Richie. And 8 is Bailey. Oh, really? I'm not a huge fan of any of these killers, but Bailey's so over the top, it's hilarious. There is entertainment value, if nothing else. Number 7, Richie. He was in all essence the much better version of Charlie. He had the girl, was the male lead of Scream 5, and I liked him a lot pre-reveal. Post-reveal, it goes downhill fast. Yes, it does. It definitely does. Okay. Oh, Richie and Amber, they were a giveaway when they were heading to Amber's house to collect Tara's inhaler. I figured Richie and Amber were in cahoots. Good call. Good call. Number 7, Mrs. Loomis. I love her reveal. It shocked me. Points for pulling a reverse Friday the 13th. Let's not forget Randy called it out in the scene with Dewey, and she ended up killing him. Yes, indeed. Number 7, Richie. He was very likable before the reveal and amazing after the reveal. Him dating a kid was scarier than him being a killer. This is true. He didn't kill very many people, but he was definitely dating a minor. So that's great. Although they are seniors in high school, but like still an adult dating a high schooler, what the fuck? Like, no. So even if she was 18, that is disgusting. Okay, more number 7s. Oh, here we go. Mickey. He barely had any screen time, and I didn't care much about his motive. It's interesting that, like, once I get to, I would say, like, my number 9, even with Quinn, like, from 9 up, these are characters or killers that I enjoy. But still, for some of you guys, like, by even up to number 7, there's still characters that you don't like, or the killers you don't like. Interesting. Number 7, Amber. She has a super memorable reveal moment. She commits to the performance, but motivation was a bit lacking. She goes big post-reveal, though, which I appreciate. Oh, also Amber. Most ridiculous motivation of any Ghostface killer, but I loved her performance. I don't know. I think, like, I'm very accepting of their motive, regardless of how ridiculous it might be from a reality standpoint. It's pretty ridiculous, but Scream 5 is like it's so meta with that commentary with toxic fandoms and stuff, that I don't like. Realism is not my concern. I really like their motive, honestly. Now, didn't used to. Number 7, also Amber. Her reveal is completely jaw-dropping and she's unhinged from here on out. Our killers I like or love. Good. 7 is Roman, also twinning. Despite not knowing he was the killer beforehand, he was still able to give a nice performance, and his fight scene with Sydney was pretty intense. Yeah. Oh, one of our best performances of Neve Campbell for sure. I love their final showdown. Number 7. I hope no one read that because I'm not trying to spoil anything about the TV show. So number 7 for me is Roman. Sorry, but I hate him almost. Same motives as Jill. He has a completely different motive than Jill. What are you talking about? Jill wants nothing but fame. She wants to be the new Sydney. And Roman is carrying out a revenge plot because their mother abandoned him but gave Sydney the life that he wanted. Not the same at all. Number 7, Roman. Like him as time goes by, the only solo killer. Yeah. I mean, he gets credit for that, if nothing else, right? Number 7 is Mickey. Can't decide for Roman and Richie for 7 and 8. They're kind of mixed for me because Roman, like, solo killer, interesting motive, but then Richie is just a lot more likable. Like, on screen, I enjoy watching Jack Quaid far more. So I don't know, it's hard. Number 7 is Mickey. I also struggle to remember him sometimes because Nancy Loomis was so good at her crazy. He just gets overshadowed. Yeah, he's really subtle, but that's why I like him. Okay, number 7, we got Charlie. Number 9, we got Ethan, then Quinn, and then Amber. I know no one's mentioned Stu yet, except for that one someone crazy mentioned Stu at the very beginning that he was their least favorite. I will not stand for that. I don't know if we've heard from them since. Okay, number 7 is Charlie. I'd hope that he traded on Jill. What do you mean by that? Number 7 is Richie because to me he's the mastermind and he had good plans, but the killers in Scream 5 are reasonably bad killers because of the detection of the phone calls and how sus they are. They have some dialogue pretty early on that like makes them kind of obvious, but I didn't see it coming the first time. You have Amber as well. A lot of people have Amber at number 7. Loved her. Act 3, one of the best ghost faces from a crazy killing, and had the power to kill Dewey the legend. Only downfall is she was a follower. Number 7 is Amber. She gets this spot for me by killing Dewey. I guess her line, welcome to Act 3, where a character finally did something for me, though not as good as Stu. Yeah, that's quite a moment. 7 is Quinn for me. I just really enjoyed her character overall. Okay. Mrs. Loomis. I'm not a big fan of her before the reveal. I think she is, again, boring. I think it was also silly to kill Mickey before Sydney. Why not use him to do the work? Yeah, that is an issue I do take with Scream 2, but not a massive one. 7 is also Quinn Bailey. I love the subversion of the sex-positive character that has plagued slasher movies. They always die after sex, and having her be a killer was awesome to see. Yeah, it was a fun subversion. I agree with that. Your Roman is number 6 for you. Him being the one that planted the seed to watch it grow where it doubles back to him is clever. Yes. Poetic justice. 6 is Roman because of everything he really planned. 7 is Roman. Oh, also, he's a bland character before his reveal. It's funny that Sydney had no clue who he was. Yeah. Credit for doing it on his own. And I love his actor. He was on Grey's Anatomy. Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't seen him in anything else. Okay, I'm going to move on to my number 6. Okay, here's where things get interesting, to say the least. My number 6 is actually Billy Loomis. I did not think that I was gonna put him this low, but here we are. Okay, so first of all, I love Skeet Ulrich. I love him as a killer. Like, him and Stu together, that can't be matched. There has not been a killer duo better than them in the entire franchise. That's undeniable. Okay, so don't want you to get anything twisted. All right, but Billy, he's like one of the worst killers. He literally gets arrested at one point. He's so dumb. He's so dumb. And also it's like Randy says in Scream 2, like, what a rat-looking, homo-repressed mama's boy. Yeah, Billy's the worst. Like, even before, and all his stuff with manipulating Sydney and not being able to deal with her trauma. So even before he's Ghostface, he's like, I want my girlfriend back. When in reality, he's just saying, like, I want to get laid. Like, I want to have sex. So he's just not a likable character like all around, but Skeet has a great performance. And he's just not good. Like, he drops the freaking phone in front of Sydney. He gets arrested. He damn near attacks Randy in the freaking video store. Like, he's a dumb killer. Like, he was doing a terrible job. I'm sorry. I know he's probably going to be at the top of a lot of people's lists. So get your pitchforks ready, I guess. But I mean, number 6 out of 13, he's in the upper half. He's, and he'll probably remain there because I'm not assuming the Scream 7 killers are going to be much better than 5 and 6, just given their track record. So, let's see what you guys had to say about that. Who's your number 6? Oh, number 7, you have Richie. The whole Bailey Kirsch clan is bottom 4 for me. Fair enough. Okay. Number 7, Roman. He kind of falls flat for me, but he's a lot of the brains behind why the first movie killings happen. So for that, I'll put him higher than some of the others. He is a mastermind, if nothing else. And he almost got away with it. Number 6 and up are my favorites. Yeah, I mean, me too. Look, I love Billy. Okay. All right. I love Billy and Stu. Let's not get anything twisted. Okay, let's see. 6, Richie. I have to admit that Scream 6 made me like Richie more, but not more than his motive. He still gives me sweaty balls. What? Okay, number 6, you have Stu. Listen, I'm not like on my top 6, it's tough. Like I love all of them, and I could see Stu being at number 6. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, number 7 is Amber. She was an idiot fangirl like Richie. Roman was the more efficient Ghostface. Sure. Um, okay, number 6, Roman. He did everything alone and manipulated Billy, did not care for him before the reveal, and his fake death was dumb, but loved him later. I agree. His fake death was ridiculous because he was planning on killing everybody anyways, so whatever. Number 6 are both Richie and Bailey. Okay, a little tie action. I like them both the same. I think they're both entertaining and interesting. Number 6, Amber. I have to respect her. I have to respect her that for doing most of the work herself, her performance is very campy and the reveal is completely shocking the first time you saw it. Number 6, we got Nancy Loomis. Laurie Metcalf's performance elevates this character so much. If it were played by anyone else, she would be at the bottom. The only Ghostface could have gotten away with it. Sure. Number 6, Richie. I actually like the motive. I really like this character up until the reveal. I kind of wish he wouldn't have been the killer, so he could have stuck around as a main character. Oh God, then we would just. We have so many legacy characters at this point. We just can't do it, you know. Mickey, he was super handsome, which was pretty privilege, which we've talked about a bit today, but I constantly thought crazy. And I especially loved his psychological manipulation with the killer boyfriend. Yeah, we'll talk about that soon. We will. Trust me. Trust me. 6 for me is Mickey. Forgot about half of the movie, almost no screen time, was bored of the reveal, very underused. So you don't like your you up to 6 then, I'm assuming. Number 6, you liked the solo Ghostface Roman. Also Billy, twins. I love him, of course. Don't hate me. OG Ghostface, just prefer 5 other killers. Same. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Number 6, Roman. He's our only solo Ghostface. I got to give him that credit. Also going to say that moment between him and Sydney where they hold hands. I wish we could have gotten more from him. I do wish they met before the reveal, but it's fine. It's fine. In the weakest reveal of the most fun Scream movie, I like the idea of a director being the killer, very meta. But as you've mentioned, no scenes with Sydney before the reveal, which is weird. Yeah, I do. I love the fact that he's a director. That is really cool. Didn't even think about that. Number 6 is Quinn. I loved her performance. So unhinged, that bloody smile. Number 6 is also Stu. I'm gonna anger a lot of people. I love Matthew Lillard, but I think his great performance really overshadows the character's flaws. Kind of find him annoying as a killer. Sure. Number 6, Charlie. He deserves this spot because I do believe he is the one to be getting his hands dirty, unlike Jill, who was the mastermind. But Jill still ended up killing more people, right? I can't remember. I cannot remember. Number 6 is also Roman. Am I the only one that kind of feels bad for him? He's still an asshole, but it's sad his mother abandoned him. Also, he's the only solo Ghostface. It is weird. Like, it does bring up a lot about Maureen Prescott that you have to, like, reconsider. So it is strange. Number 6 is Richie. He's a very good character before the reveal, and he's truly dedicated to this. Like you mentioned, he was in a long-term relationship with Sam for 6 months and stays by her side. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Number 6, Nancy Loomis would have been higher if she had more of a presence pre-reveal. I agree with you about Billy also. I feel like Nancy is more present than people give her credit for. Like, she does just come off as like a Gale kind of fangirl, and she's just sort of annoying, like a little gnat following Gale around. But she does drop a couple lines. Like, she has the one where she's like, I was at your last conference. I was asking you all the questions about this and everything. And I'm like, she's been stalking Gale, and she's, mastermind. Okay. Oh, finally, the good killer. 6 is Mrs. Loomis. I love her psychotic nature and her basic revenge plot. Is a great nod to Mrs. Loomis. Yes, yes. Wait. Are you talking about Pamela Voorhees? Because that was what clicked in my brain, but I don't know if that's who you're talking about. Number 6, Richie. His flip from loving, supportive boyfriend to, yeah, I know, it sucks that it's me. It is so cold. The performance is in the eyes, that shift. He's lower than Amber because he gets whiny. Yeah, true. But I think it's played so well. I don't know. I kind of love Richie. Number 6, Mickey. Not a lot of screen time, but I think Timothy Olyphant pulls off the best acting performance of any Ghostface. I might second that. I might. Number 6, Mrs. Loomis. She ditched her son, but then cares enough to kill for him. Yeah, you were a shit mother. Deal with it. I know her motive is complex. She's complicated, you know? Number 6, Richie. His reveal was not only a betrayal for Sam, but for me as well. It was a bummer. It was him, and Jack Quaid was perfect in that role. I agree. Kylie would not be Sydney because she would have been like, Billy, why would I even date you? Which Sydney would not ask. That's true. After a couple movies, she definitely, would have gotten together. But yeah, she could have done so much better than Billy in general. My God. Ugh. If anyone ever is trying to like make you feel bad or guilt you and pressure you for sex stuff, like tell them to absolutely fuck off. You know what I mean? Because that's what we call coercion. All right. We don't fuck with that. Number 6, we got Mickey, crazy psychopath, met Mrs. Loomis on Bumble for Killers, which is funny, but he has no screen time, which is awkward. True. I mean, he's kind of there. He's around. Like he's filming them at the frat party and stuff. He always is dropping these little lines about, did you hear that she was stabbed 7 times? And he's a little bit more around than I feel like we give him credit for. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my number 5, if that's fair. My number 5. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. My number 5 is Amber. I was kind of surprised with myself that I like put her above Billy and put her so high up on my list, because initially I feel like a lot of you guys do, where she's just not really around enough to have much of a personality pre-reveal. But then post-reveal, she's one of the most fun people to watch, I think. Out of all the Ghostface killers, she is so fun to watch. So for her, it's mostly performance-based. Why she ended up being like in my top 5. She's my number 5. Surprising, but also not. You know what I mean? Is that fucking hand sanitizer? Like, come on. And also, she took out Dewey. Credit where it's due. She just has so much good dialogue in the entire reveal. I think her monologue is one of the best. They actually used her monologue so that the people auditioning for Scream 6 could read it and they could decide who their killer would be. So, I mean, yeah, Amber, I think she's more of an icon than she gets credit for. I do. I really love Mikey Madison, though. It's really interesting, too, because I don't think I featured a single interview from her for my Scream 5 video, because her real life personality is like, it's so subdued. I don't know if she was just like, feeling down or tired on her press days or something, but her real life personality is like so just gentle. She's so like quiet and like normal. So it makes her performance all the more enticing and impressive, I think. So yeah, I love me some Amber. I really do. Pre-reveal, not really. She doesn't really do anything for me pre-reveal, I'll be honest. Otherwise, she might be higher up on my list. Number 6 is Ethan. He did make my suspect list, but only because he was a new character. His reveal shocked me because he just seems so sweet and nice. So to see him play a psycho killer was like, what? Yeah, I know. That must have thrown some people off the scent. Not me. I've got a good sniffer. Number 5, also Amber. Interesting how people love Amber now. I always loved her as Ghostface. She's a brutal killer. The only Ghostface to attack the OG3. Yep, killed Dewey, shot Gale, and stabbed Sydney. Oh, damn. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. You're right. She did some damage. Number 6, Stu. He's hilarious. His character is amazing, but I wasn't scared by him. His death was iconic, but I find the killers before him scary. But no shade to Matthew. Also, how dare you plan to kill Tatum? Oh, true. Number 4, we got Roman. He's underrated. He killed 9 people by himself and was a badass. He's the only Ghostface I feel sympathy for. I gotta be honest, I feel no sympathy for Roman. Like on a human level, of course it's sad that he was like abandoned by his mother, of course. But no sympathy from me. Gonna say Amber. Yes, she was fucking unhinged. I felt like as a kid, high schooler, her character made sense because I feel like Gen Z has such a connection to movies, especially horror. Absolutely. And also the internet. And when you're that young, it's also very easy to be radicalized. So the fact that she was groomed by Richie actually makes a lot of sense, unfortunately. Also Amber for number 6, liked her performance. She was really funny. She was. Let's see. Oh, your reasons are why my number one is Billy. Hate to love to hate, the good-looking price. Is that from a song? Because I'm unfamiliar. Number 5, Billy, because I called it was him at the beginning of the third act. I really liked his motive and the scene where Sydney is dragging him for filth. Yes, that is a great moment. But it's Sydney's moment, isn't it? Number 5 is Stu. I like that he was considered the goofy friend until we seen he was missing more marbles out of his bag. That's such a good way to put it. Yeah. um, let's see. I know Sydney's mom is really complex. I really wish that like beyond Scream 3, we got to see more of how Sydney felt about her mom, like dealing with it, because yeah, Sydney's mom, Maureen, the fact that we never see her besides like Sydney's weird dreams, she's a very interesting character, very flawed. So yeah, I'd like to know more about Maureen. Um, Number 6 is Richie because it was a fun performance to watch. Absolutely. For your number 5 is Mickey. I don't love his motivation, and it was weird that we didn't see him for so long before the reveal, but he was still entertaining. Absolutely. 6 is Mickey. Not only is he smooth enough to pull off the opening scene kills in front of 300 people, but his acting when revealed is next level deranged. I agree. Miss Loomis. Yep, she was as batshit as Billy for sure. For sure. Number 5 is Mrs. Loomis. Loved her. An icon. Her acting at the reveal was so good. She was crazy and unhinged. I agree. Also, Mickey, liked him pre and post reveal, but he literally goes missing for 45 minutes up until the reveal. That is fair. Number 5, oh, we got Quinn up pretty high. She was such a funny character at first. Figured she was the killer. I was a bit sad when she died because I like Leanna, and for a second I thought she actually died. An amazing killer, and that smile. That smile gets to a lot of you guys, huh? Me too. Number 5, Charlie. Rory Culkin scares. Rory Culkin as an incel killer scares me even more. Oh, I grew to like Charlie in the past few years. It is a good performance. Like, I feel a little bit bad having him so low, I guess. Like, the more I think about it, performance trumps a lot of other things for me, but I'm just not a fan. Like, I just don't like him. I don't know. Number 5, Billy. I mean, he's the original. What is there to say? But yeah, as you stated, very bad killer. Great performance, though. I had him as number 3, but I mean, he literally got arrested. He was so sloppy. He's a sloppy bitch. That's what I'm saying. Okay, number 5. Oh, also Amber. When she took that gun out and welcomed everyone to Act 3, my theater went nuts. Everyone, like, the whole theater was just, like, yeah, from that point on, she was just Stu level fun to watch. She's this low, though, because until the reveal, meh. Same. She could have been higher, but just was a nothing character. Number 5, we got Mrs. Loomis. She's slated as the killer mother wanting revenge. Sequel perfection. Number 5 is Stu. It's funny that on paper Stu would be such a nothing character, but Matthew Lillard elevates it by 1,000%. That's so true. Like, if you like just reading the script, I don't think that much of Stu would really like be there. You know what I mean? Matthew added so much to his character. That's true. I didn't even think about that. Number 5, Mickey, purely because I think he's really hot in his Jesus Christ. The black robe looks best on him. Sure. Fair enough. Number 5 is Billy. I do think he's a dedicated killer. Again, long-term relationship. He's very much a controlling boyfriend, though, which is why he's lower than the others above, for sure. Number 5, Nancy Loomis. I didn't like Laurie Metcalf's campy performance at first, but she's so utterly memorable. I agree. 5 is Billy, such a horn dog throughout the movie, but his reveal is too iconic for me to have him any lower. I also love how many horror references he lists throughout the movie. Yeah, absolutely. We love that. Number 5, we got Jill Roberts. Okay, so you were talking about Ms. Voorhees. Luckily, that is where my brain went, though. Yeah, so your number 5 is Jill because she has the best plans, and I like her motive about wanting to be famous. She's the biggest surprise other than Mrs. Loomis. I think she's introverted in real life, probably, most likely. Number 5 is Stu. You don't really know his motive, peer pressure, found killing fun, or in love with Billy. All good motives, in my opinion. I think so. Like, him just wanting to do it is frightening on its own, Number 5, we got Nancy. Her unmasking performance is good enough, a little unhinged, but still sane, and she ended up having a good couple lines. My motive isn't as 90s as Mickey's. Mine's just good old-fashioned revenge. Yeah, for sure. Okay, you know what? Speaking of her, Mrs. Loomis is my number 4. I love Laurie Metcalf's performance. I love the little fake-out moment where Gail walks out, and Sydney's like, Gail. And then it's like, no, because she's holding the gun to her. I love that Mrs. Loomis moment. I also love that Mrs. Loomis, much like Jill, she also was the mastermind and was playing Mickey the entire time. She's just a good old time. She could be higher up on my list if she was around more earlier in the movie because I don't enjoy her very much pre-reveal. So that just is what it is. Otherwise, she'd definitely probably make my top 3. But as is, people have had really good reasoning for her. So I don't have too much more to add, but Mrs. Loomis is my number 4. Number 5, we got Amber, same, because she wasn't around much and her performance was giving Stu copycat. Okay, so in a good way or a bad way? Seems like in a bad way. Number 5 is Debbie Loomis. It's nice to know where Billy gets his crazy from. Lori killed that performance for me. She genuinely creeped me out and her eyes said so much. I agree. Also, like, she also has one of the best showdowns with Sydney, for sure. Like, the whole stage production collapsing on her and Sydney using all the, stage stuff, that was really cool. So she kind of goes through it. She has a pretty physical performance, a pretty physical showdown, which is fun. Okay, 2. Oh, you have Jill. You're moving on to number 2 already. She might be tied at number 1 with me. So my number 1 is Billy. Both icons, best reveals, best motives. As for Billy getting arrested, he actually planned that. Did he? I mean, I guess, but okay. As far as I understood, like, he does plan to he calls Sydney from jail, right? Or what is that whole thing that happens? He calls Sydney from jail and has Stu call her while he's in jail so that no, I feel like I'm mixing something up. Does he call her with the Ghostface voice from jail? I cannot remember. I'm sorry. Anyways, like, yeah, he did something like using his one call to like be Ghostface to Sydney or something. Am I tripping? I should know this. I should. But as far as I understood, like, that was how he got himself out of that situation. I didn't realize he planned to be arrested. Did he really? I don't know. Okay. All right. 5 is Billy. He's terrifying as Ghostface, and also he's so hot. He made a Scream reference in Riverdale while that show was good. I like that he came back in Scream 5 and 6, but he made it so obvious. Yeah. I know. I think it's crazy to not be scared of Stu. I think that's wild because a person with no motive, that's crazy. You'd never be able to talk someone down that has no motive because they're just doing it for funsies, for shits and giggles. Like, that's terrifying. You can't talk your way out of that. Whereas, like, Sydney's always able to slow the Ghostface killer down by talking with them and reasoning with them a little bit and like buying herself time. But like Stu, that would not work. That would not work. Okay, let's see. Number 4, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and say Stu. He was over the top, but in the best way. Truly a classic. We love Shaggy. We do love Shaggy in this house. Smoke weed every day. Sure. I wonder, like, if he does in real life. I honestly don't know, but I feel like he must. My number 4 is Miss Loomis. She was hidden in plain sight. Like, Gail didn't notice. Yeah, Gail did not even see her coming. You're counting Sam. She put on the costume, gave a phone call, and killed someone in costume. It's complicated because she's a good Ghostface, hence why she's smack dab in the middle. Yeah, I wouldn't include Sam, but if I did, she'd be one of my favorites. I would have to say, I would. Okay, number 6, we got Mrs. Loomis, and then Jill, and then we got Mickey at number 4, and I'm not going to get ahead of myself with the rest of your ranking. Number 4, we got Nancy Loomis. Same. I love the pure insanity performance that the actress was giving. I also enjoyed her motives mirror the Friday the 13th, and we learned a bit more of the aftermath of the cheating. This is true. It all goes back to the past. Okay. Oh. Number 4, we got Amber. She's so fun to watch indeed. With the knife is iconic. And she's so stabby when she kills. You can tell she likes inflicting pain. Also great fashion style. I agree. I like her little outfits. I like her boots. Okay, number 4, we got Nancy Loomis, the original Revenger. Yeah, side eyes Detective Bailey. Number 4, we got Billy. Love his dynamic with Stu, but on his own, he's just your typical friendly neighborhood psychopath. Yeah, typical. Also very big killer vibes all movie long. Good looking guy though. Number 4, Jill Roberts. Best female Ghostface hands down. Her motive was unlike anything we saw in this franchise. The only Ghostface who was a true sociopath, evil to the core. The others were psychotic. I don't know. I feel like Stu kind of was as well because he didn't really have a motive. Number 4, we got Mickey. One thing he has in common with Quinn is being underutilized. This man has such an interesting background with already being a serial killer that was found. He's also just unhinged. I never even thought of that. Like, I was never really that curious about Mickey's background, but now I kind of am. Because now that you mentioned that, that's true. Oh, there's a gnat in here. God, it's March. The bugs aren't supposed to be back yet. But on that note, I say that we keep talking about Mickey. Mickey is my number 3. This is mostly because of the reveal. Like, I know I said that Amber would be higher if she had a better character pre-reveal, and it's her reveal is just so much fun. Mickey is like the same, but I think it's a testament to his performance that I would even have him at number 3 when I kind of feel the same way about him and Amber. His performance as Ghostface is so good. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. He like it's the subtlety. I love like he just has these little distinct kind of mannerisms. It's the way that he is so soft-spoken about everything, and also the way that he manipulates Sydney into thinking that Derek is his partner. I think that's genius. It's wild. Like, he had me believing it. For the first time that I watched Scream 2, I was like, yeah. And even every time that I watch it since then, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I get why Sydney believed him. Like, Billy was the killer in the first one. Like, her boyfriend had done this to her before. It was a very, very clever way to manipulate her. And then, oh God, what a gruesome moment. Derek's death is so sad. That guy goes through it, this movie. But anyway, yeah, like, one of my favorite lines from Mickey probably is when Sydney is like, "You're psychotic." Like, it's not because of the movies. Like, you're a psychopath, and he's like, "Yeah, well, shh, that'll be our little secret." He has this like little kind of like he has this like sexy little kind of whisper thing that he does. He's just toying with her, and I don't know. I find that to be a much better performance than like even Skeet Ulrich as Billy, because Mickey also just seems like so intentional. Billy is so fueled by a lot of rage, and just anger at Sydney, and Mickey is just like having a good time, but he's equally as psychotic. It's lovely. I love Mickey. Timothy Oliphant, a real gem, a real gem. Number 4, Roman. We got Roman up pretty high. This shocked me, but I rewatched all this weekend, and I just really love his performance and his fight with Sydney. You can see his emotional wounds when he's screaming at her. This is true. No, it's a good performance. It is. It is. 4, we got Stu. So good, funny, and scary, and iconic Ghostface, of course. 4, also Mrs. Loomis. I like her motivations a lot, but she was a little bit boring by times. That's sure. Number 4, also Mrs. Loomis. I love Laurie Metcalf. I totally didn't suspect her. I feel like 2 has kooky reveals, but I'm into them. They're literally on stage. Yes, I know. Another thing they copied in Scream 6, by the way. Like, come on. And the Friday the 13th connection is sick. I agree. Number 4, we got Richie. When Amber is almost killed in the hospital, you can see Richie look back and give a worried look. I do recall this. I love the attention to detail in his performance. Also, yes, oh my God, when Amber jumps out of the closet at Sydney and he's like, "Oh my God, it's Ghostface." God, I love it. He's so funny. Jack Quaid is so funny. Number 4 is Billy because he got himself arrested. Yeah, and if that was part of his plan, like, how would he know that would work out for him? Even if it was part of his plan, it's kind of a dumb plan. Like, why would you want to get arrested at all? Number 4 is Amber. I love her so much, and Mikey is such an amazing person. She had the best death in Scream 5, and I think she genuinely regretted her actions before she was shot. I don't. She was trying to save her ass. Like, she did not have any regrets. Are you kidding me? A little psychopath, because she flips back on it. She flips right back on it. Like, because she's like, "I just wanted to be a part of something," and blah, blah, blah. And Gail is like, "A part of something? You killed my best friend." And then she literally is like, "Yeah, and he died like a pussy." That girl does not have regret. I'm sorry. No. Okay, number 4 for me is Stu. I do think he's great and unhinged, but 2 characters are more unhinged for me, and some of his comments are corny before reveal. Sure. Your flattering remarks are both desperate and obvious. End quote. Oh, iconic. Number 4, Mickey. Number 4, also Mickey. His performance is so unhinged, scary, funny, over the top. His death is great too, when both Gail and Sydney turn him into Swiss cheese. What a moment. I agree. Oh, thank you, thank you. I will indeed. Thank you. At number 4, we got Amber. Upon a first watch, I barely noticed her. On my rewatch, I noticed her a lot more and enjoyed her reveal so much more. She genuinely surprised me when she came running all crisped up. All crisped up, yeah. Number 4, we got Nancy Loomis. She killed Randy, which still made me sad, but defended her family and took revenge and killed the OG Core 4. Yeah, that's true. This is very true. Number 4 is Stu. Number 4, we got Charlie. He was a loser, but had some good kills. Sure. Number 4, we got Mickey. I like the third act and how crazy he was. Shame that he was betrayed. Yeah, crying shame. Because he is a killer that oh my God, I would love to see him come back. Obviously can't, but oh. Number 4, we got Jill. Her whole motive about wanting fame and fans is that it's more important than friends and family is completely crazy, and she almost gets away with it. Indeed. Number 5, we got Mrs. Loomis. I like how she was stalking and even took a false name, Debbie Salt. She could have gotten away with it. Yeah, and for Mickey, I think he was already a serial killer before Mrs. Loomis found him. Indeed, indeed. So it's weird, like despite him like not really having much of a motive, he just loves killing, you know. I also forgot to mention his whole thing about like blaming the movies. So he's smart. That could have worked. Like at the time, that was a really hot button topic about violence in media. So really more of the time. Don't know that it aged like super well watching it these days, but you know, there was also that. I thought that was quite smart. Number 4, Stu, classic, scary, off the rails. We love it. We love it. 4 is Roman because he has a high body count. That's fair. And the true mastermind. He beat the shit out of Sydney. He didn't have a lot of screen time, but he had clever ingenuity. The voice changer, yes. Indeed. Oh, yeah, y'all love Scream and Smoke Tree. You guys are the best. Yeah, that's the vibe here. Oh, hey. Oh, sweet and spooky. We have Celise here. Good to have you. Okay. All right. Yes. Moving on to number 3s. Here we go. Okay. Billy. He's the true definition of don't act crazy after we smack. What? Oh my God. Number 4 for me is Jill. Well, I'm not a fan of Scream 4. Not a fan of Scream at all? Or Scream 4. Emma Roberts gave her everything in her performance. She went batshit crazy and I loved it. Mickey in the beginning was giving off very weird vibes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I loved his chase scene with Cece, and yeah, it was exciting. The way he screwed with Sydney's mind was brilliant. Yeah, he's always being weird. I know he's not around much, but like when you rewatch the movie, he's being hella weird. Number 3, Amber. If she wasn't so bland before her reveal, she could be even higher. I wish she would have been more Stewish throughout the whole movie instead of just flipping a switch at the end. I agree. Number 3, Mickey, the original film nerd killer. Timothy Olyphant delivers a perfectly unhinged performance, sketchy but not too obvious, and one of the best motivations in the franchise. Oh, wow. 3 is Amber. Amber getting a lot of love. Yeah, love the scene with Liv at the end. I was so shocked at her reveal, loved her performance, killed one of my favorites, Dewey, did most of the killing. Valid. Number 4 has to be Quinn. Absolutely unhinged performance. Her motive is a bit rubbish, but when you factor in the passion she's killing with as a result of her love for her older brother, it's sad. It is indeed. Number 3, also Amber. Loved her so much, iconic, and she killed Dewey. So respect, yes. 4 is Jill. Okay. So yeah, you meant Scream 4. Right, okay. But Richie, yes, Quaid was great. Kept me on my toes, whether he was a killer or not. Slightly better than Amber for me. Number 4 is Mickey. Yes, real psycho with a funny plan. Blame the movies. Absolutely. 3, Jill. She was the closest to getting away with it and was definitely the most shocking reveal, and hits home with killers wanting fame and recognition. Absolutely. Number 3 has to be Amber, purely because of her reveal. She's absolutely insane. Yes, absolutely. Number 3, Stu. I'm glad we have, we all kind of have similar top 3s here. He used to be at the top of my list, but since my recent rewatch, he's moved down. He was pure psychotic. It may have been Billy's lackey, but iconic. Sad he's dead. So you're not on the Stu is alive train, I take it. 3 is Billy Loomis. He's iconic with the fake out death, even though I don't know how the stab noises happen still. True. Interesting. But it was iconic. We all go a little mad sometimes. Number 3 is Jill. I'm not the girl you cheat on. Iconic. Number 3 is Mrs. Loomis. Her fight with Sydney had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. Also didn't realize how much she was in the movie until I did a rewatch. Yeah, she's always kind of there, I'm telling you. Number 3, we got Billy. He has a pre-American Psycho vibe. Yeah, yeah. I wonder if inspo was taken there. Number 3, Mickey, twinning. He's great in his subtle mannerisms pre-reveal, and he's crazy afterwards, as well as, yeah, Timmy the Oliphant. He's great. He's so good. I loved him in Santa Clarita Diet. Oh my God. Number 3, Billy, crazy and he's dark, but compared to my 1 and 2, he doesn't match up. I love the performance, and Skeet just goes for it. For sure. Number 3 is Charlie. Something about him feels the most chilling of the sequel killers. The scene where he stabs Kirby but seems a tad remorseful is so disturbing. Well, he did want to get in her pants and all. So, number 3, we got Billy. Number 3, we got Roman. Amber, of course, Billy. Everything he does is a reference to a movie, and y'all are right. Him licking the corn syrup blood off his finger. I can't. I'm not going to read the thirst comments. I'm just not going to do it. Okay. Yeah, Mickey is 3 for you too. He's not only hot as hell, but his motive and his line delivery is fantastic. I just I inhaled some of my spit. Oh my God. I love that he relays Randy's line back to him about the geek never getting the girl. I forgot about that. Number 3 is Stu. No real motive makes him scary and unpredictable, and he has some of the best quotes of the franchise. Yes, 100%. He's the character with the most iconic quotes, probably of the entire franchise. Yes. 3 is Mrs. Loomis as well. The only killer to be attacked by plastic flames. This is true. Yeah, her motive was understandable. Laurie gave an amazing physical performance. Number 3, we got Billy. He was one of the most clumsy with trying to get away with it. But he's the Ted Bundy of... He is. Because everybody loves him. Number 3, we got Stu. I was shocked at his reveal because I never would have suspected 2 killers. Same. Plus, he was a goofball. Matthew Lillard's performance was so amazing. Love how he uses both hands to stab. Mickey, same. God knows how many people he killed prior to the events of Scream 2. And the most psychotic killer, like he wants to get caught. Yeah, is he the only killer that wants to get caught? He might be. Credit due there. Number 3 for me is Stu. He's so hilarious. I find him super creepy. Yes, same. And you know what? Speaking of, this is where I might surprise you. My number 2 is Stu Macher. Thoughts? I don't know. I mean, like, I really... You know what? So that leaves my obvious number 1. So I guess I'll share them both at the same time. Because also, my 1 and 2, like Stu and Jill Roberts, I adore them both so much. Like performance-wise, I think they're probably equal for me. Mickey, I think that Timothy Oliphant probably has the most convincing and best like post-reveal performance out of all the Ghostfaces. But I do love that Jill and Stu are also like a little goofy at times, a little corny. Like, the line delivery where Jill is like, I told so many lies that I almost started to believe them. Like, that line was a little bit corny, but I still love it. Like, it's just, they both, and Stu, he is the one who comes off probably as the most unhinged, maybe not more than Mickey, but just like in a different way, where Stu just like does not give a fuck. How many times can I say it? Like, he has lost the plot. He is just doing things. Like, he is just doing any old thing. He is saying any old thing. Matthew Lillard, what he brought to that role, my goodness. I am not on the train that he's still alive. Or am I? Because actually, we talked about this last time, that there actually would be kind of a good way to bring him back. I'm not going to get into it today. But yeah, it's hard for me. I do think that I want to say that Jill is my number 1 because, as creepy as it is that Stu had no motive, right? Like, that's freaky. That's great. But the fact that Jill wanted to be famous, this is probably at least the 30th time that I've said this, but Scream 4 was so ahead of its time for her having that motive. She has probably my favorite monologue of the entire franchise. I feel like she has one of the longest monologues. I know that Richie dated Sam for 6 months, whatever. Jill Roberts killed her mother and then maimed herself at the end of the movie. I don't think any other Ghostface has ever been more committed. Like, am I wrong? You're going to look at me, you're going to tell me that I'm wrong? And what was her sister? A princess. The Wicked Witch of the East, bro. Old reference, whatever. So I don't know. They're kind of tied for me, but I do feel like Jill is my favorite. I don't know. And now I'm excited. It's time to get into your favorites. Here we go. Okay. Number 2, we have Miss Loomis. I knew it would be Laurie Metcalf. Didn't know why. Was not disappointed. It's still one of my favorite reveal speeches. She's just amazing. Yeah, I've heard people say, like, as soon as they saw her in the movie, basically, they were like, well, she's probably going to be a killer because they're not going to just waste Laurie Metcalf, which ironically is how I feel about Samara Weaving in Scream 6, but she was the opening kill. So whatever, but yeah, I get that. Number 3, Billy Loomis. Yep, Skeet Ulrich plays him with a pre-American Psycho vibe. Yes, I definitely did. I already read that. My bad. Number 2, we got Mickey. My top 2 killers are the only 2 to manipulate Sydney and have her emotionally damaged in the following years. The only Ghostface to be a serial killer prior to the plot. True. Okay. We have to dip out. Okay, give your number 1. Stu. Woo! Nearly 30 years later, and his performance still makes me laugh and terrifies me. Matthew Lillard is a gift. Absolutely. Number 3, we got Jill. Surprising reveal for me. Her punching herself was just god tier. Hope she got away with it. Like, what? But she didn't get away with it. I hate to let you know. Number 2 is Stu. Yes, the kills were brutal, especially the opening kill with Casey, which gives me chills every time. Yeah, the vindictive X angle dated Casey for 2 seconds. Yeah, true. That's like the only sort of a semblance of a motive that we really get from him, besides like the homoerotic vibes that he loved Billy, I think. Number 2, Billy, almost a perfect Ghostface. Skeet was perfect as a crazy dude. Enjoyed him from start to finish. Absolutely. The Ghostface killers that stand above the rest, Billy, Stu, and Jill. Cannot blame you there. Number 2, we got Billy. Could have been on top, but him and Stu stabbing each other first before they kill Sydney and her dad was so dumb. That's so true. I'm telling you guys, Billy's kind of a dumb Ghostface, all right? He was orchestrating that. Number 3, Amber. You think she's a gay Ghostface, but she was with, I don't know. Maybe she liked girls too, but she was with Richie, you know? Judy's death is terrifying. She's so funny. She has an iconic fight against 2 legacies. This is true. Yeah, wait, did she take out Judy and Dewey? Damn, props. Number 2 is Jill. Yeah, her motive and sub-motive is quite emotional, even though she's nonchalant. I don't know. By the end, she's not really. Number 2, we got Jill. Out of all the Ghostface killers, I think her motivation is the most interesting and logical. Yes, for a sociopath, yes. Sorry, you choked. The chat is thirsty today. I love it, though. I think it's so funny. But I don't want to, I don't know, if a kid comes upon this video or something, I don't want to read too many thirst comments. Number 2 is Stu. He's psychotic, unpredictable, most quotable. Really hope he's alive. All right, on the Stu is alive bandwagon. Also, Stu, he's the most fun to watch. Love his performance. Just the fact that he doesn't have a motive and just kills because Billy asked him to. Yes, it is. Indeed. Number 1, Stu. His lines are just iconic. You told me she was dead, Stu. She looked she looked dead, man. Still does. I know that line's not brought up very much, but it's really funny. Mickey, hot af, and Timothy plays serial killer college student perfectly. And I don't think he's really had a role like that ever since, which is such a bummer because the talent, right? Oh, number 2, Amber, the Trust Me mastermind of 2022. Like, I'm sorry she was running that show. Really? Maggie Madison did so much to add to that role in the 3rd act, and she has the best reveal. She also took out Dewey. See, I'm more inclined to believe that Richie was more the mastermind because, grooming and stuff, but Amber does come across a lot smarter than Richie. Also, her willingness to be killing everybody while he's not really doing much. She does give more of a mastermind vibe to me, for sure. 2 for me is Jill. Yes, manipulated Charlie. I didn't even mention that when I was giving my reasoning for her being my number 1, but she had 2 plans going on at once. Layers. Charlie did not expect her to be a killer. She looked so, she manipulated Charlie, period. Did not expect her to be a killer. She looked so innocent. She would have gotten away with it, but talked too much at the end at the hospital. I know, that's the only thing that kind of bothers me. Number 2 is Stu. There's just no way anyone else could play this part. Yeah, I feel the same. And the casting of the first 4 movies of Wes's movies was so good. That's something that I feel like is really lacking in Scream 5 and 6. And I hope they get their shit together for Scream 7. Once we see Stu for the first time, he's automatically on 11 of the crazy scale, but he's so watchable, yeah. Number 2 is Stu. I have a huge weakness for dorks, and Matthew's performances him brought out that goofiness. I also love how he has no motive. It's much creepier to me. I agree. 1 and 2 can switch around, but Billy and Stu, I feel they're the most believable to me, and it was disturbing how Billy saw life as a movie and wanted to create his own slasher. I didn't even talk about that. That's true. I love that. I do love that. Number 2, Nancy. Yep, she's got one of the most solid acting performances. You can see the emotion she has, and she's very angry about the loss of her son. She got the second closest to killing Sydney. Yeah, true. Stu is an icon. We love Stu. Number 1, Jill. Very nice. Yeah, I know. I think that somebody also commented on my community tab post about this, and I'm pretty sure someone said that Jill was going to be my number 1, and I just didn't respond. I didn't want to spoil it for everyone else, but like a lot of you probably knew. A lot of you probably knew with how much I love Scream 4 and Jill. Number 2, yep, Stu, him sticking his tongue out and saying, "I'm a dead man," after Randy says never have sex to survive a horror movie cracks me up every time. Yeah. Number 1, Amber at number 1. A perfect killer, so underrated. Many of my friends hate her because she cries and begs for forgiveness. No, I feel like many Gen Z kids would act like her and blame anyone else but themselves. I don't think that's a Gen Z thing. I think it's just like an egomaniacal killer thing. I don't think that's a generational thing. And also, like, she's just trying to save her ass, you know? It's just like Robbie in Scream 4. He's like, wait, I'm gay, if that helps. You know, we're all just trying to save our ass out here. Number 2, Jill. Probably technically the best Ghostface. Absolutely most impressive and successfully manipulative and such a strong motivation. Absolutely. Number 1, Jill. Scene where she beats herself up was a fever dream for me. Yeah, like years before I found out it was Scream 4. Not to mention she was spitting facts about how to become famous. Yeah, it's all still true. Oh, I missed your 3rd, which is Mickey, because he's the most psychotic and has an amazing motive. Yes, that's my number 3 as well. Number 1, Stu. I still remember when Sydney gets into his chest and takes the voice modulator. Surprise, Sydney. Yeah, his reveal was a lot. I feel like it was even more surprising than Billy. Because Billy was revealed first. Number 1, Stu. He's basically a way better version of Detective Bailey. Yeah, Lillard's batshit craziness comes across as genuinely unhinged. I agree. Because you know what it is? Something about Stu, something about Matthew Lillard. He is not afraid of looking ugly and being gross. He is like, I don't know. I mean, obviously this is like on the makeup team more so, but like Matthew Lillard was covered in like goop, like fake sweat and everything for like his whole reveal. He was drooling. He had spit and drool just dripping and flying out of his mouth. Like he was on one. Like he was not afraid to take it there. I feel like Detective Bailey and Dermot's performance is just like a little bit too clean for me, if that makes sense. Like it's a little bit too it's a little bit too what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I just don't feel like he fully took it there. I felt like he was a little bit shy with it almost, despite it being really corny. Like I don't think it just didn't feel authentic. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Number 1, we got Jill to Billy, and then Mrs. Loomis, Stu, Richie. Yeah, all right. All right. Fair ranking. Number 1 will always be Jill for me. The whole reveal had me gagged. Also great motive and monologue. Absolutely. Yep. Stu at number 2. Number 1, Jill. I've always loved her, but rewatching 4 made me appreciate her so much more. Emma Roberts is great, with Jill being the only one to almost get away with it is just great. Motive was ahead of its time. Yeah, and I mean, she was successful in what she wanted to do. She just also died. Like, she 100% got her 15 minutes of fame, because the movie ends on that really dark note of all the reporters being like, everyone will know her name, the hero, Jill Roberts. So she was successful, actually, for a second. Number 1, Jill, the most evil killer of them all. I agree. Who had a normal, good life, but she traded it off for fame, even if it means getting her family killed off. True. She was fine. Like, she had such a normal, like, just a good life going, didn't she? Jill, the only Ghostface killer that genuinely surprised me, and her motive was amazingly accurate commentary. Also hella dedicated. Yep. Sweet but a psycho vibes. Number 2, Jill. I love the love for Jill, you guys. I really like that her motive is not related to the movies, but that she just wants to be famous. And I think that Roberts has some really great lines that were written for her. Yeah, I'm sure. Because there was a lot of rewriting and stuff going on. There was a lot of improv on Scream 4. Number 1, Stu. His acting and performance was chef's kiss. He was so funny at the end. Also a bit creepy. And please stop with the Stu is alive conspiracies. Let it rest. I don't think that'll ever be put to bed. I hate to say. Number 2 is Amber. Iconic reveal with the "I know you're not the killer" bang. Yes, absolutely. Probably her best line. Number 2, Amber also. Oh, came out when you were 17. I genuinely felt her motive and felt appropriate. Plus, she's the toughest Ghostface killer, point blank. She is, honestly, a little girl of her size killing, big adults. It's pretty wild. She's a tiny little person. I'm pretty sure. I need to look this up. How tall is Mikey Madison? Let's see. She's 5'2". She's so little. Oh my gosh. Okay, Jill Roberts is my number 1. I thought it was genius how she marketed as the new Sydney, but ends up being a dark, twisted version of the final girl. I know. I love that subversion. I love it. Jill doesn't kill anyone until the reveal. Doesn't she kill the publicist? Or is that Charlie? I can't remember where she's at that part. And then is she the one that attacks Gail? I can't remember. No, she's home. That's Charlie. Anyways, never mind. Number 1, definitely Jill. Yes, Emma Roberts is the best as a female killer, so convincing in her acting. Almost got away with it and had to try to kill herself to get away. Yes, indeed. Number 1, Billy, classic. As Sydney said in Scream 5, Billy started all of this. When I think of Ghostface in human form, it's easily Billy. He outranks Mickey because he was the male lead in the original. Sure. I mean, when I think of Ghostface, obviously, generally Billy is who comes to mind first. He's the first one. The most interesting thing is Jill wants to be famous as a victim and not as a killer. It is interesting because these days, killers are very famous for the wrong reasons. It's very creepy, but true. So, would have worked out for her either way at this point. Number 1, Stu, most quotable and memorable, fun killer reveal. 2 killers was such a great twist for the genre at the time, and his performance is perfect. So chaotic and homoerotic. Love the plot. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I've been live over 2 hours. I'm I'm starting to lose it a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and finish off all the number 1s that I have in the chat. And then I think I'll probably call it a day. I'm 10 minutes behind on the chat still. We've had a really busy chat today. Thank you guys for being here. Number 1 is Billy Loomis. Billy and Stu remain at the top because they not only wanted to get away with the murders, but also wanted to be the victims of the brutality, true psychotic dedication. Definitely where Jill probably got her inspiration, right? I did. I know. I just reacted to all my predictions today, so that video is coming out soon. Number 2, Roman. Despite his motive, he still was the one that got this started. Got Billy and Stu to start everything against Sid and had Billy kill her mom. True. Number 1, Jill. Yes, number 1, Jill. I know. She was stupid for not slicing Sydney's throat instead of stabbing her. I get why they couldn't do that. They couldn't kill off Sydney. Yeah, that is one thing that's kind of curious. But back in the Scream 4 days, a stab in the stomach was enough to kill somebody, if you can believe that. After seeing a movie like fucking Scream 6, yeah, getting stabbed in the stomach, it used to mean something in this country. Okay. Okay, number 1, also Jill, of course. Yeah, she's also so good in American Horror Story. She's really good at playing the mean girl. So the fact that she wasn't in Scream also is interesting. Oh my gosh. Number 1, Mrs. Loomis. Wow. Okay. Puts on an incredible performance. If you think about it, Mrs. Loomis really sends City on a downward spiral. Yes. Even further than Billy and Stu when you see Scream 3. My voice is going, you guys. Oh my goodness. Stu, yep, he's a legend. All his lines are delivered with such range. And as you said, a killer with no motive is terrifying. And number 2, Stu, the fact that he was okay with Tatum being killed. Oh, I know, his girlfriend. What the hell? He killed Casey because, she broke up with him. And Tatum seemed like a loyal girlfriend. It's fucked. Number 1 is Billy because he's the most creative. He had great plans. He started it all with Stu. Very psychotic. Absolutely. Stu is dead. I love that we're always very divided, You're also a Stu is dead person. Listen, I've kind of gone back and forth, but I'll really get into it. I'll save that for my Scream 7 predictions video. Timothy Olyphant and Perfect Getaway. Okay, good call. Good call. Number 1, yeah, Billy and Stu, OG duo we all fell in love with. Absolutely. Oh, yep, Billy and Stu also your number 1 and 2. Let's see. Number 1, Jill. I kind of knew yours would also be Jill. Yep, she's the closest to killing Sydney in the entire franchise. Strongest motive, and I love when she said, I wouldn't be able to handle that attention. Yeah, her mind. I know. She really threw me off. Like, she was probably the most surprising Ghostface reveal of the entire franchise for me, honestly. For sure, Jill. Yeah, I know. Most thorough and determined, honestly sadistic. She is the most sociopathic, probably, because she actually, like, unlike Stu, actually has a motive. She wants to be famous. Like, fame-hungry people are scary. Number one, Roger Jackson. I mean, of course. Of course. Um, Drooly boy. Yeah. Okay. Any more for number one? I think that might be Jill. Another one for Jill. Has anyone tallied up how many number ones Jill got? I think maybe more than Billy and Stu. Yeah, heads are gonna roll tonight. Oh, good line. Jill, another one for the final girl turned killer. Motive was so ahead of its time. Almost got away with it. Obsessed. Yes, absolutely. I agree. Samara Weaving would have been one of the best killers in the series because her performance in The Babysitter was so post-reveal worthy. I agree. I agree so wholeheartedly. Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I know I'm gonna need a lozenge after this. I'm gonna make myself some tea. I'm gonna make myself a nice sandwich with pickles, of course. If you've been around for a while, I don't know, but that's just my thing. I start to crave pickles when I do live streams, and then so I make pickle sandwiches. Anyways, yeah, I want to call it for today. I've been live for over 2 hours, and what a great stream this has been. There's still like 120 people here. That's ridiculous, but amazing. I loved hearing your lists. All of our lists were a lot more similar than I thought that they were going to be. I thought my list might be a little bit more contrarian because I had Billy at number 6 and Amber at number 5 above Billy, but yeah, seems like a lot of us are kind of on the same page, so that's cool. I hope I catch you in the next one. My next live stream is going to be on the 30th, which I believe is Thursday. I never really know what day it is. I think that's Thursday though. And it won't be at noon. My next live stream is going to be at 2 p.m. I'm accommodating for the guests that I'm bringing on. Kira and Mika from the Double Feet podcast. They're amazing. I've done live streams with them on the Sledgehammer Horror channel, and they're great. They're just really nice women, and I'm excited to have them on. We're going to be doing our top 10 witch horror movies. So that's going to be the concluding live stream for Women's History Month. I thought it was like the best topic to conclude this month with. So I hope I see you there, and thank you for being here. Bye.